Oh, I was only one of the things.
Thankfully, there wasn't a test or anything today important.
Yeah, no, none of that, obvious.
All right, get my mic settings right. Everything's my volume and everything good.
Yes. Sounds proper.
All right. Oh,
Hey, there we go. Okay. Share that?
oh, uh, is this with the balance mod?
No.
All right, just making sure I didn't need to get some download. All right.
It says it's streaming, but it is also. Oh, there we go. Alright, so it's up, ready. I am hearing myself a little bit.
Is the other guy gonna come as well, or did he bail out?
He didn't say he was coming, so I didn't ask him to, or he said he was only going to come if he was needed, which I was unimpressed by, so I didn't say anything.
Patrice? I thought he said. I see Polar Bear marking him down as there for the both days.
I don't know, it says he has weekly obligations, so I prefer to have the people assisting me want to be assisting me.
Yeah, that's valid. I try to be, but lately I've been having stuff on the weekends, but that didn't happen
It's
this weekend, so here I am.
it is fine. So first up we have Halloween and Name versus Slowking and Vochi. That's not gonna work out because Slowking and Vochi were a last minute sign up. And Zimako versus Melee and Trout. Okay. So you can join my game. I'm currently hosting on DT6, probably one of the only PvP servers.
So bring Cosmoteer right now.
Stream quality seems to be maintaining. I'm still hearing myself.
But oh no.
None of the 4 players I pinged have joined yet. I'm still hearing myself. You do think you can fix that, right?
All right. Six. There we go. Join game. What's the password?
Neon. No, it's Glow. It's Glow. Glow. You are hearing me when I tell you that I can hear myself, right?
Yes. Oh,
Alright.
You're talking about through my mic. I thought you were
Yes.
just checking on the. Oh, my bad. I only repositioned my stuff. Is it better now?
Probably.
I
Yes, I
could,
can't. I'm not
I could,
hearing myself as much anyway.
could turn down the gain on my microphone and then you increase my volume on Discord that way. Actually, no, I can turn down your volume. That'll work. There's the two ways to fix this to reduce my input. Um, or to decrease my output. Hmm. We've got one team.
No, what's the point of checking in if you just don't show up when you're pinged? Like,
Stream's on, right?
yes, the stream is on.
I see Slowking in a chat.
How is the game full?
Slowking in whoever's up next, right? Oh no, that's not. It's
There, it's right. So Walnut, is my understanding of how that person's name is spelled.
but I see you only pinged 3 people.
Well, that's because one of the person has Chinese characters. Can't
Oh,
type
oh.
those. But Yugi, fortunately, did it for me.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully they don't have terrible internet.
I don't think that they would.
It seems to be fine. One guy apparently having ship issues.
I don't understand it. If you're interested in participating in a tournament, then you should probably clear your ships and test them before the event. They worked yesterday, so I don't.
Was it an update recently?
Well, I had to update the game when I turned Steam on.
Let me read through the thing to see.
There,
Um,
my
I did.
understanding, there wouldn't be anything that would break ships though.
Yeah.
Like dead zone
Yes.
changes pretty are given a
Very rare.
fanfare.
Oh, finally fixed the whole thing here. Crew run across the ship to find an airlock closest to where they're trying to go.
I've remembered that being a problem for the longest time. So for our viewers, if they are there, that one KMC, I'm gonna introduce you because you never do a good job. That one KMC is someone who's assisted me with tournaments, plays Cosmoteer on and off, is very helpful. I am serious, and the tournament host. Some of my ships are in the game directly, and I don't play Domination very much, so my commenting is gonna be spotty compared to an expert. Probably goes for the both of us, but
Yeah,
some
just go.
commenting is better than none.
I just about only play elimination.
Yes, I feel like that's the majority for the mainline competitive community. Let's see.
I'm not seeing anything that would make a ship illegal.
Well, you can't spawn a ship if it's illegal. So we have Team Blue on the right and Team Lime on the left, by the way. I'm not sure if this is the same for you, but that is what it looks like on my screen.
Who's on the left?
Lime.
Yeah.
Alright, please refer to that accordingly. And I can still hear myself, so please fix that. Okay, so Alpha is being contested aggressively, as per the startup of most matches, with just a lot of skirmishing. It's not being captured by anyone, but it's just having a lot of bodies thrown at the problem, which does typically work, of course. To my understanding, most ships are built with the designation of just being fire and forget in a certain sense, where you assign them to go get the objective and then they go and get the objective. And you just have a lot of armor and defenses to deal with it. And you don't need reverse thrust because you're just gonna out armor your opponent, ideally.
I have a feeling these bigger ships, like the one that Simako's piloting, are probably very driven. Like maybe have one person drive while the other person uses the smaller ships.
Yeah, I imagine that you would want to be directly controlling the larger ships because you can get more mileage out of them and effectiveness because, you know, it scales with how large and effective your ship is.
Also, it's
So,
kind of difficult to pilot a small ship without overturning. You got to have a lot more practice for that.
yeah, especially given the lag that is currently taking place on top of, let's see, on top of like just how finicky it can be at 1x speed with how fast they are.
Very interesting nuke design that Mealy is using. Not particularly
Yes.
fast, but it seems to be decently accurate against people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah, the nuke ships are basically counter to wall ships like Zamako's CAC because they have very a difficult time dodging, but it won't matter if they just capture Charlie. That's
That was pretty fast.
that's been one of the faster matches.
And that's a single elimination, right?
Yes, so they have already been knocked out. Manly and Trumpet Duck.
Is there the losers brackets there, right?
Yes, it's double elimination. So they have been knocked down. They've been the first team eliminated and put down in the second bracket. See them sometime tomorrow. So next up we have
Wait, tomorrow? It's next week.
next week. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Next up we have Hallwin and Name versus Slowking and Vochi.
Is
She,
he's looking in Bochi in a general one voice chat?
yes, they should be joining faster than anyone else, ideally.
Hmm. So what's our stream delay at with the
It is, I'm pretty sure it's set to a minute like it was last time, and I didn't change anything.
all right.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that should still be remaining the case.
Nice to see Mint here again.
Yes, Mint is very cool player. I've seen them in a lot of events. They've been elimination and team and domination. That's pretty cool. Let's see. There doesn't appear to be any microphone issues because nobody's said anything in the chat.
It appears to be what?
There
Nope, no mic.
doesn't there doesn't appear to be any microphone issues because nobody's complaining in the chat room.
Yeah, that's good. For a second, I thought it was the other way around, and I was like, oh,
No, it seems to be fine.
see if this match will go a little longer. I have a feeling it will.
I feel
But
like the first
Mint and
one might,
Slow King are really good, so
yeah. I feel like the first match might have just been nerves of the players. It's like the first match and they're joining and their ships weren't working apparently. Probably gonna be hearing more about that if they get knocked out of the tournament because of it.
are they allowed to go fix them in the middle?
Well, yeah, you can modify your ships. There's no sh limits. There's no ship assignments for me. So honestly, you can do whatever you want in the meantime. Take that for what you will, players. So if you leave the lobby and come back, I'll assume that you've modified a ship, and that will not be good. So probably just stay in the lobby if you.
All right, here we go.
Team Orange on the left,
Yeah.
Team Pink on
Orange
the
starting
right.
out the deck cannon ship
Very heavy one. As opposed to the
versus.
swarm tactics we saw from both players last match, we seem to be focused on a much heavier start.
It seems like both Slow King and Mint started with the same deck cannon ship, and then a couple swarms, I guess, to rush points.
Yeah, I think that's probably ideal where you just have cappers to try and contest the points and then you manually pilot your big ships to try and win. So Manta Ray has more firepower on a given ship but has less armor and is also being outnumbered, which mitigate
Surrounded.
which makes it so that the single player advantage doesn't matter as much, or single entity being stronger. However, it's a lot faster, which, as everyone knows, speed is absolutely mandatory if you want to be finding victory. And it already did a lot of damage to one of the Naglings from being piloted by Mint.
That seems to be trying to separate them. But it's almost, oh, that's the end of that.
Manta Ray goes down, probably. It will be going down in the future, being flanked from two sides.
And its last control room is burning.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one can operate the control room now. That's over.
and the bottom Nagling still seems to be functioning, so I would say that it's still slightly in Pink's favor right now.
For some reason, it's not getting operated. Oh, they jumped it away to repair them, I guess. Is
Yes,
that what they did?
that is something that exists now. The hyperdrive beacons are a lot more useful for domination than illumination because you can just teleport home and repair your ship.
See, I'm definitely new to this domination thing. That was a cool move.
Yeah, the
Also, it
FTL
seems
drives are very cool.
seems like someone self-destructed their sign, or is that normal now?
Um, I'm pretty sure it's the case that if ships,
Um, but yeah, one of the Niglings almost down.
almost, still seems to be holding on. Doesn't really care that it's being fired at from in three different angles.
It has very nice internal armor protecting the control room, so it didn't actually get knocked out. But
Yes.
it's out of ammo, so it's more or less just there to hold the point.
Lovely paint for the pink team by Mint, I imagine. Warps home again. They're trying to get their money's worth from the repair function, which is very good of them. Lost Bravo. They're technically down a point. Continuing to pour more and more resources into the center, both sides are. I'm noticing that the Team Pink doesn't have very much ammo storage. That's a pretty lethal flank.
Then maybe that's one of the reasons they're headed home to try filling up.
I
Oh, one of
personally,
Slow King's ships is about to blow. Got a reactor that's all four tiles on fire.
yeah, watching his health tick down, and there it goes. I personally am a lot more used to energy weapons, so typically I don't have to worry about energy concerns. I imagine that it takes a lot of practice to know the limits of your ship and when you need to start thinking about heading home, which Slowking did was a last minute swap out for Team Pink. So he probably doesn't have sufficient practice with these ships.
One of the ships that went home is actually coming back without any repairs or refills or anything.
Well, it is a panic move in a certain sense where you can just warp home and just get out of a blank. The issue here is that, like, I don't understand the point if it doesn't have any ammo.
There's a nuke stick just stuck in the middle of all this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like an anti-slow ship weapon. Anti-slow ship. Waste.
Oh, that was incredible damage. That
Yes.
ship is gone.
So I'm starting to get the impression that the ships of Team Orange are a lot better suited for this combat because they actually have ammo storages. Even despite Pink looking better earlier on, they are struggling to keep up in endurance.
Yeah, I can see that too. They aren't really on the same. They got these like ships that just circle around without ammo.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how effective you are with your ship if it just runs out of ammo and then just gets swarmed and killed. Because you need to, continue killing your opponent for it to matter. However, if it's a large piece of armor that you can't remove and then you're not contesting the point like is what's happening in Echo right now, then I suppose it doesn't matter if you're out of ammo.
Alpha is also about to got a lot of Pink seems to have taken that one over.
There is certainly a lot of Team Pink in that area. Though it's a little bit confusing because purple is part of Team Orange and red is part of Team Pink.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But yeah, I managed to actually capture Echo, so Team 2, Team
One
Pink
point
is
left.
yeah, is already getting back into it despite the fact that they were out of ammo for the most part. Um a lot more hmm.
Oh, names today doesn't think repair works.
I guess that explains the ship's not being repaired back at home. I could have sworn I changed that. It's supposed to be on. Hmm.
Is that checking a called allow modifying ships or something?
I'm not sure. I could have sworn it was just like by default a setting that was on. Showing my inexperience here. I don't know. Oh, not. Alright, so both teams seem to be.
Both seem infected.
Alright, so. Growing pains. Our ship construction.
Is it even possible to repair? Or are we just going crazy?
I'm pretty sure it's possible to repair. They're waiting on you. None of them have raised issues, so. Like, I recall repairing. How strange, how bizarre. Okay, so different map setup this time.
A Mandel moment.
So they seem to be starting with the same tactics of two Naglings from Team Cyan now.
Let's see if
With
repairing works. What happened?
I'm pretty sure it works, because none of them said anything. Sending a lot of ships to Delta to start off with from Team Cyan. And of course, everyone is contesting Alpha at the bottom.
It's actually a ship contesting Delta, trying to take it back. No, that was a little small scout.
Yeah, just to try and force the issue, see if they're paying attention properly.
Seems like the same two-on-one duel as earlier.
Owen not maintaining his speed with the ramp-up time. Something that is relevant now is that deck cannons can fire over allied ships. So that was happening a little bit with the two ships from Cyan, where they aren't body blocking each other anymore.
Totally getting assaulted right there. He just seems to have abandoned Alpha and gone right for Charlie.
Well, I don't think it can face both of those, so is trying to see if it could lure one away or such.
He's also got a little bit of help from a Hornet, little small ship.
Yeah, because like the longer you delay, the more time you can get to assist from other ships.
Ooh, those nukes
Oof.
barely missed,
Oops.
as they
I
always do.
lied. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would be targeting such a small ship, especially when the point of the ship is to be hitting larger targets. Or as per my understanding anyway.
I think that nuke ship was trying for the manta ray, but it
I
missed or
suppose
something like that.
I suppose the manta ray is moving pretty fast, despite how large it is. Alpha continues to be fought over with no avail. Echo was actually lost by Team Cyan. They have no points to their name right now. They're trying to earn their way back in.
Oh, you always got to watch out for tunnel vision. That
Yeah,
never ends well.
this map is especially bad in my experience because they're so far away. So it's just like you pay attention to like Charlie and Alpha and you're trying to win them because it's, frenetic, and then you've lost the other 2 points in the meantime. Nigling continuing to have ammo issues. I kind of think that it might have been better to have like ammo production instead because of how little the storages are lasting.
Yeah, at least have something that they can slowly recharge, like one factory to recharge on their downtime.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be a drawback of their ships is that they don't have very much ammo storage, especially compared to their opponents that are continuing to just fire and not have issues. Anti-ray spinning in the center. Trying to get it home, I imagine, but it is with its off-kilter thrust, can't really do that by itself. A circular ship. Interesting, unorthodox design. Not sure what the point is for that circular ship. Typically for circles, I am pretty sure those are ships with FTL beacons that then spin to preserve health and such. Soul King did repair their ship and is sending it to the center. Other one teleports home, retreats to repair and refill ammunitions. Alpha is currently mostly uncontested right now. There's a lot of people nearby it, but nobody directly on top of it.
So one thing on top of it, I don't know why it's not capturing. Oh, because maybe there's I don't know. Now it's getting captured.
Yeah, I don't think Slowking's going to be able to get there in time to stop the capturing process.
If he is, he's got to go full speed. Maybe.
Oh,
Oh,
just
barely.
close enough.
He's got it.
Almost, almost got there. But the Vitruvian from name should be able to counteract the Nagling, and then it should be home free, probably.
That ship is now dead, so it's 2 versus 1, but it's looking he's flanked,
Yeah,
which isn't the best. But oh, well, these guys' deck cannons turned all around, so
being flanked isn't as big of an issue for deck cannons, and that ship has two side-facing ones, so it can aim directly behind it. But that doesn't really matter if you're being directly outnumbered and outgunned.
got
Uh,
another 4 deck cannon ship rolling up on him with a lot of armor.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that can be gotten away from. Presumably, it will be teleporting sometime soon. It's just trying to incur as much damage in the meantime that it can. Currently, it's looking a little bit rough because Team 1 has twice as much credits on the field, roughly, and a lot more to spend. Slow King better warp home, otherwise it's going to be taking critical damage soon.
That ship's just about dead. Only 1 layer of armor between the control rooms and death.
Ever reducing as well. They're really trying to kill the Vitruvian, but I have to ponder the effectiveness of that when they only have 1 point. Like, they're currently getting Echo,
Oh,
I
and it's
suppose.
gone.
Ah, yes. It used FTL. That is
And it's
a
all repaired. The armor's back.
that is a huge benefit to having FTL drives and wasting some money on a beacon at home, is that you can just repair your ships indefinitely. And refilling ammo and repairing armor is a much, much lower cost than buying a new ship. Of course, at the cost of, um, abandoning the point for all intents and purposes.
And the Slow King, was it Slow King ship? I can't remember. Yeah, it was Slow King's ship that it's very damaged. Has also gone home to repair.
Yeah, this is the second time, I think.
We shall see if he has the budget for it. 'Cause he could be out of money.
So it's worth noting that the longer this fight goes on, the worse off that Team Cyan is going to be because of how they have had only 1 as opposed to 3 points for the longest time, aren't getting alpha, and are already behind. I'm not sure what their comeback idea is going to be. The Hollowin's Manta Ray still trying to make it home, managed to survive since the start of the fight. I suppose that there is fog of war, so the players don't know what's necessarily going on. Ooh, Alpha's been captured. No ships except for the current shark from Hollowin is going to get there fast enough. Oh, and trying to get back to the zone. There we go. I had forgotten that there was a new mechanic of where if your ship does not meet the minimum ship budget, it cannot count as capturing or contesting a zone.
What's the minimum ship budget?
Um, I don't recall, but it's low enough for it to be taking place here. Unfortunately, just barely in time, Name gets the XP into the zone. So they still will not get their hands on Alpha.
Which
Would have
means
been very
less
good too.
income. The base income's 32,000. So right now the difference is Team Purple has what 5,000 more, just past that. So it will
Well,
slowly build up.
it's been building up like the entire match, though, is the issue. So I'm not sure what necessarily went wrong for Team Cyan for it to have resulted in this, but it's been only compounding with time. Might be a good
Yeah.
flanking shot. Mint turned off their stuff. Not sure why, but they lose that ship. It's a very expensive blow. Could have tried warping
X-
home.
XP just got ended.
Yes, the Vitruvian is probably going to be forced to go away because of having, well, not 3 ships attacking it anymore. I think the issue with that spinning circular ship, the Vitruvian, is that, like, the point is to be capable of spreading damage and not being rammed, but the issue is it doesn't have enough thrusters to leverage its shape properly. Based on how
There's
these
some.
matches, based on how
Oh,
these
it's starting to warp. About to get out of here.
yes, you can hear the as it winds up, and there it goes. Unfortunately, that is just in time for the second Vitruvian to get to arrive, so still not going
Yeah.
to be, still not going to be theirs. A lot of corpses on Alpha that even if the Vitruvians disappeared, would still be contesting it. I think that there may have been some sort of like armor tactics that have been popularized because the Vitruvian and Nigling and Almace have all demonstrated like a predominance of armor over extended amounts of firepower. And to my understanding, I always thought it was overwhelming firepower to just kill your opponents instead of outlasting them. Inaccuracy of the deck cannon's really hurting here. Like there's been a direct shot on the Vitruvian for a long time now. I don't think it's gonna get it before it just warps away.
Oh, it was. Oh,
Oh,
so
oh,
close to destroying it.
come on. Still misses.
Nope. That was so close to ending one of those ships. Stop the cycle.
I don't think the Mint was microing that ship like they needed to have been. And now it's effectively back to full health. The chance is no longer there at all.
Yeah, it's a big loss to not have taken that ship out.
The fleet value continues to just raise in the difference, nearly 800k right now. Fires or random cannon fire takes out the Almace that had survived like multiple excursions against the Vitruvians. Very unfortunate. So something I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen is that we have seen a lot of warp tactics, but we have not seen any of them that have really been carried outside of their main bases. Only now do we see a relay from Team Purple and a Samshire Ease. I'm not gonna try and get that last one in the top right from Mint.
Actually, Purple took the relay out of their base.
Oh, it's the same relay, huh?
They just took it away. They're probably just driving it away because it's faster or something.
Yeah. Or it's expensive enough to warrant not getting a second one. But yeah, if you can get relays on top of points, you can directly reinforce them very quickly, which, or just use it to mitigate the slow speed of things like the Vitruvian. So it's not a it's kind of a surprise that it's only being used now to teleport things. And it's kind of funny, paradoxically, the ship with no weapons is, in a certain sense, the most dangerous if you're ignoring it because of Fog of War and you don't know what it is, because suddenly it's going to bring a lot of friends home with it. To Charlie,
Especially the
perhaps.
much slower Virtuades.
Yeah. Fortunately, they finally seem to have gotten Echo, so it will unfortunately be nullified by the fact that they have captured Alpha, so they're still behind.
Yeah, Alpha's twice as valuable.
So you need to get Delta or Bravo to um bring it back to a standstill, is my understanding. Now is both Vitruvians teleporting, and Excalibur is in for a rough time.
Did deal some damage to the relay.
Well, like the issue is it's just armor, and the threats are already here, even if they're not. I'm gonna protect the relay. So yeah, they're both immediately heading to Charlie. which is a problem. The ships are still stuck in Echo. Mint is having a connection issue. So let's see, how would Team Cyan win this back in like under a minute? Not even win it back, but get a tie. Well, throwing ships into the Vitruvians is not it. Mint may not have seen that there were ships there. Dame may also be just sending their ships to the spawn point to hinder anything that comes out. Very
It's
interesting
like
ships.
now that the relay's not doing so well, I'm assuming they're gonna buy another. Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, it's already on its way, though I'm not sure to what end it will be doing,
Yeah,
given the
already started the
battles.
job.
Yeah,
Turned around.
let's see. There
But one of the
is.
virtue veins dead. It got hit from behind.
Hmm,
Wasn't
nice.
looking.
But yeah,
Perfect hole right through the back of it.
that is the ideal case for the nukes, but unfortunately it just doesn't matter. Like they can't get a point in the amount of time that there is left.
Oh,
And
yeah, there's 5 seconds left.
and too slowly does Slowking notice that they need to do something and sends a ship to Alpha, but it shan't matter. So Halloween and Name will be moving on.
That was a tense battle. Total
Yes.
income. Team one wins on total income by, was that 6,000, 600,000? I meant.
It was a little bit rough in terms of the differences there.
Hmm.
Alright, so up next is Kawa and Salves versus Eno and Commandant. Uh,
Too many people are asking questions about hyper beacon in the Discord. Maybe we'll see some last minute ship modifications of someone implementing the hyper beacons.
I certainly hope so. I do.
It's worth it.
I've always been charmed by last minute modifications because they are such a delight because you're making a kind of worse ship with a vague hope that it'll work out.
It's like a reactor with a beacon on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple crew.
Because like you're obviously using a ship that has far less testing. I'm still hearing myself.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Let's see, is Commandant joining? Come on, buddy, I believe in you. There we
We got another
go.
one.
Team preview. It is on. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here we go. Not sure what the visual bug is about. Probably need to report that to Walt at some point. Should probably be fixed. They are all thanking me. Doing very helpful things of just changing something once.
Reform ready?
Waiting for Commandant. So Kala for sure, I know is an expert of domination. So the rest of these players I'm not so sure about. I know that they're all solid players, but
Like,
as good as Kala is a different question. So
Sabers. Kawa instantly starts out with a fast cannon ship.
yes, the Buchanan, as I have painted, is the current thumbnail of the stream. Is Kawa's opening move, is my understanding. Like he always picks it and just saves up for something that's more problematic. Because if you're directly piloting it, you get a ton of mileage out of it. And I would not be surprised to see if it just wins this fight, despite the opponent having a lot more weapons.
Um, he bails.
I suppose there's no accounting for just ramming your opponent randomly. Deck cannons, however, will win that fight. Probably needs to turn around, Salifs, because you have a larger fish behind you with more ammo.
Shades on a ship that's going to run out of power very soon.
Yes, those are raw efficiency in terms of ship form, but it obviously comes at the cost of them having a limited lifetime. So Kawa, getting his revenge, no longer has the thrusters or the weapons to contest the Buchanan.
Ancient's not looking at this anymore.
Yeah.
There were thrusters enough to turn around.
So Kawa heading on to repair. Currently, I imagine that Kawa is going to be picking up an actual ship and doing stuff with it because right now they are losing Alpha, which is, always a bad sign. Salus
Will
lost.
disappear.
Pardon?
Bravo's gone.
Yes. Salus managed to lose their ship. Why is no... Both players leave Alpha. No coordination there. Kind of a bad sign. I suppose they might have thought it better to coordinate.
Maybe
Kawa,
will get on there. Not probably won't. That's a temporary ship.
indecision from Commandant, going to Echo, then switching to Bravo, despite it already being captured. Nobody, only now, I think, is the Cannonling being sent to Alpha to capture it. I imagine that this might have gone differently if they had had slightly more ships assigned to better positions for Team Cyan.
Yeah, Science probably going to get Alpha. So I don't see much competition for Alpha right now. That's a big start. Some
Oof.
of those nukes blocked by Commandant, but
It
still,
didn't matter.
it was already dead.
I was still saving up for something, not spawning a proper ship to fight with. Have to wonder why.
That is a good question. I might see him trying delaying this Echo getting taken or Alpha. The sole
But
purpose of holding off so he can spawn his big whatever he's doing.
you can definitely do it, but the issue is that like you're not winning, you're only delaying. Unless Commandant leaves it, and then, well, I think that they need to be doing more solitary tactics of like remaining on point. And as fun as the Buchanans are, they can't really get through side armor, at least not in a reasonable time frame.
And Alpha is still not taken. I guess nobody wants it.
Okay, this
It's
is
so
starting to
close.
hurt.
It
And
was a second left.
okay, I'm kind of rooting for Team Pink now because just like the flagrant ignoring of Alpha hurts a little bit.
Like capturing two Bravos.
Like who cares about Alpha when there's Echo? Bravo. Salif's doing almost getting damage on the bonk, but
There's still major
unfortunately,
ships out. I wonder
yeah,
how much these.
I have to wonder what Salifs and Kal are planning because they just don't, they haven't spent anything really. I mean, Salifs has thrown 2 ships away, 2 large ships away.
They have to be stalling for something. Like,
Kala has nearly 700k right now, so we should be getting there soon. I hope
yeah,
so
maybe
at
strippers up
least.
for 1.5 mil or I don't know.
That was a tactic that I've been told just won't work at actual competitive play because your opponent will just like pressure you and force you to actually take things out, which I think is being demonstrated pretty properly here. But it's
Yeah,
also
Alpha's
worth noting,
like,
yeah, but I
on
think it's
him.
also worth noting that 1.5 mil ships are completely unstoppable if they do make it to the field. Finally,
Here's a bigger
Alpha is
ship.
captured, and Kawa has a 750k deck cannon rammer. I imagine that's what that is. And I do believe that Kawa can definitely use that to turn things around in 7 entire minutes. That's a lot of time to work with.
Thing he does have to do is watch out for ammo.
Yeah, definitely overusing it on that ship, I would say.
Yeah. Well, one thing is he's so fast you can just drive back and pay for some as long as he doesn't get stuck. Ooh, I was worried for a second.
Almost scary. Shade on the edge of the spawn point harassing. Pretty good tactic. Makes sense given that the ship doesn't really have thrust to work with left, so you may as well put it in an obnoxious position.
It's just running around, doing a lot of work.
Yeah, like the thing you need to worry about with expensive ships like the DC Rammer, named very creatively by Kawa, is you want to just be getting value as soon as it spawns.
Oh, the control
Because
room is somewhat vulnerable though. I gotta watch out there. That is making me nervous.
if they lose that ship, it's probably game over. So yeah, it's
But
probably deal with that.
there's a string. He pushed him into the yeah, there's only one deck cannon left, so it's probably fine. But that was close. There's
It's
one layer of armor in between. That was very close.
it's a lot of risk for should
I'm
be
beating one
fine.
layer now.
It's
Ooh,
taking damage.
how
Kawa
about
does
repair?
repair, but ay ay ay. The Commandant is taking advantage of a mobile warp ship. Be around the Marigold very fast, very impressive. I'm fond of it.
They're rushing Echo. If nobody does anything about Echo, it's over.
Yes, that
That's,
is kind of important.
that is a big game
Shade.
right there. So they have to move. And there's no ammo in a Kawa ship.
Well, that doesn't matter if it can just push opponents out of the way, right? I mean, like, it's not a problem anymore. And it could just, like, deposit them in their spawn point because that just kills things. The issue is what happens in the meantime now. Because currently it's occupied.
Can you not repair the ammo? Is that not possible?
You can refill ammo. I think it... Yeah, there he
Oh, yeah,
goes.
yeah. Here we go.
Doesn't matter if you don't do anything to defend Echo, though. Paul recognizes this and doesn't go for the kill on Bonk. Might have Echo be neutralized here, though, which, is halfway there to losing.
Yeah, it's
This
probably
is
gonna happen.
this is going to have to be one of the replays that I re-record, unfortunately. But it seems like a good game, so it'll be worth it.
Oh, this is close, but I think Echo's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Salifs, I'm not sure what Salifs has been doing the entire match.
Just the things were bigger.
Bonk teleports home because it can't get off of the rock. No, teleports to the alpha point because they only have one warp ship. Oh, disrupting his teammate.
Well, it is doing a pretty good job at just keeping everyone dead.
Yes, the issue is that you need to be using multiple ships because despite how effective you can be with your, expensive ship that's killing everything, you do need to be gaining the points back. It doesn't matter if you killing everything helps, but you can still be outnumbered if you only have one ship.
So you won't quite capture Echo because might get there in time. Oh, Kawa's gone.
Um, Dallas forfeits. Let's see.
That was terrible.
That is unfortunate.
Well,
So a rematch is going to occur because that is the standard. You get one replay. So let's see. Now they're in a worse position, I would say. Because the opposing team knows what their battle plan is.
yeah.
So they can presumably counteract it. They can blitz even harder because they know that their opponents are just going to be using the small B cannons as their opening moves.
If we're ready, let's. Maybe they're changing up plans right now or something.
No kidding. I would be as well because I don't know, it was barely working last round. They nearly lost. They would have lost if the freaking opponents captured Alpha and started paying better attention.
You capture Alpha, then instead start going for Echo. That could have been over.
Ah well, it's potentially their loss. So as
See,
predicted,
there's a
uh,
change of Marcos Salfez and his ship choice.
yes, with the Ion Kite, is kind of an interesting choice because it has an extraordinarily slow time to kill. Like the reason you don't see ships like that is because they have such low damage per credit. Like lasers or blasters and cannons are so much better. And because they are especially vulnerable to flanking and to ships getting really close to them. Which ships like Kawa's Buchanan are very common in the opening sections of the game. And if you just get it close enough, then the large shield stops mattering, and then the prisms are gone, and the ship is gone, and you're down a lot of credits.
One thing is Salfez is using a large thruster and a medium thruster, so his like acceleration when going backwards because of the ramp up time is going to be slower than what would be ideal.
I suppose it doesn't matter if you just capture Alpha, though. But yeah, since it takes so long to warm up, if you're not managing it properly, you have an issue, and that is also a problem because you don't want to be focused on micromanaging one ship. Come
What
on,
was
Shade.
Alpha?
Shade. Ah, there you go. Shade manages to intercept it just in time. And now, as you can see, the cannonling from Commandant is coming in and is going to be a massive problem just by itself.
Oh, look at that speed. That's but Stealth has had good acceleration. I guess
Yes.
I was a little underestimating him there.
However, the jockeying back and forth will force it to back
Oh, that
off.
EMP.
Yeah,
EMP
Kawa's gonna lose that
really
ship now.
an EMP ship floating around. That was quite damaging.
We fortunately, we haven't seen storage fighters much at all. Probably because they've been so weak to um yeah, random EMP, mass EMP. But yeah, as demonstrating, this is a trade that Commandant is very happy to make because Salus is losing a lot more credits and can't get past it. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that Shade is sending the EMP ship as well because it was largely already taken care of.
Yeah, South as looks like it's the end of it.
Yeah, there's no way it gets back in time. There's no way either of them get back in time.
Wait, let's see.
Shade.
No ships on the field for Orange?
Yes, that appears to be the case. Kawa, ever since losing the Buchanan, has been waiting, is presumably trying to get to the um 750k ship, but it is
But they can do
currently,
something now, otherwise they're gonna lose in about 5 seconds.
yeah, it's currently a long ways away. So as I suspected, knowing their tactics, it's going to be even worse to deal with. Salif's with a rail orbiter. Interesting, intriguing. Gonna lose Charlie. Definitely lost Echo. However,
Oh,
rail orbiters, very powerful, very scary.
thing is, they need like a small ship that they can leave on the point so they can send the big ship away and keep fighting.
Yes, that is exactly the case.
It's one like $100,000 ship or something. Well, and Kawa's out here with his big ship as well, so maybe they'll be able to work their wonders now.
They're definitely in a better position than they were like 5 seconds ago. But the issue is that it's just if your opponent captures the points, then it's just over. And Shade is going to be throwing nuke stick after nuke stick in an attempt to get rid of
Rails
Kawa's ship.
behind did not take
Oof.
a control route. That was close though.
Salve's well practiced with getting ships from behind with rail orbiters. I think that putting both ships on the same target is probably not good tactics, but I mean, if it works, it works. I guess
She's coming up with a nuke stick that might do a surprising impact if nobody's paying attention.
I'm kind of surprised that Salus doesn't have a radar, which is presumably what you would want to be able to tell where the good shots are. None of those are gonna hit.
Nope, that ended
Properly dealt with.
deck cannons behind Selfish, which is not very good for him.
Really a problem, but it was fine.
It's like Kawa's going back to repair, or at least fill up the ammo again.
Yeah. And part of the issue with your hyperdrive ships, like the around the Maganaut from Commandant, is that it is an expenditure that can't help in combat.
Speeds. What's Kawa's speed? Like 100?
Well, keep in mind it still has like a carcass on its front, so could presumably be going faster. Those nukes are gonna hit.
Oh, that was painful looking.
Unfortunately, they weren't aimed in such a fashion that they could cut through Kawa's control room. So that is unfortunate, but it still is probably going to force a retreat.
Ship is completely dead.
It is beyond dead. Commandant managed to teleport a ship onto Alpha, despite it being dead at the time of the warping in.
Is Kawa is good hit from behind the rails. Sadly, didn't do much damage.
The issue in my mind is still that they're not like doing anything. And well, I suppose it doesn't matter if they're not trying to capture Charlie or Echo. Because like if both ships are occupied at Alpha, then you should be capturing those points.
They could slowly rot away the enemy's advantage in currency by doing strategic combat rather than focusing on points right now.
Yeah. That's exactly what Team Orange wants, is for the opponent to just keep throwing away ships to their two larger ones. When ideally I would say that you just switch full on to fast cappers and just run away from them and fully take advantage of the fact that they are completely stuck with their low numbers.
Selphis needs to get back to repair at some point.
Yes, it's becoming a problem.
A lot of side damage done.
And soon front damage. The issue is the salves can get around other ships faster than they can turn, which is kind of dumb. And the other thing is abandoning Alpha, and fortunately it's not being contested anymore, but in normal circumstances, abandoning Alpha would result in it being very quickly captured.
I think he's just going back to repair now that there's like they've got the advantage in ship material.
They do indeed have higher fleet value. That is what more expensive ships are good for, is damage concentration and overwhelming speed. Normally you have to make budget cuts somewhere, but I would say that the cost range of... You get more efficient the higher you go in terms of cost and price, which is how Salifs and Kawa clawed their way back, is by having massively more efficient ships.
Pablo now has two bigger ships, one on the smaller side, but still there.
And still very problematic to deal with if you're not properly equipped, because it will just kite you to death and not take any damage in the process. It does have a very low amount of actual damage output though. Well,
It's
see
got
now,
crazy
now
amount of
it
shields.
now it's just over because Salif has the deck cannon rammer too now.
So he seems to have just abandoned the rail ship, just left it there.
Well, why not? It's gonna be more effective to use the deck cannon rammer anyhow. Or it's just gonna like rip apart ships that can't get out of its way, which is, all of them because it's a deck cannon rammer.
But now they can just tag team.
The issue with this sort of tactic is that once you actually get the ships on the field, you either need to win through point capture, which is it's too late for that, or you need to try and get your own ships of similar size on the field. And they've been throwing ships at these, so they no longer have the ability to field those ships anymore. At least not for any time soon.
I was shielded and getting flanked, actually.
Oh,
Not flanked enough. The guy just ran into a rock and now was stuck, I believe. Oh, they has reverse thrust, so no.
well, if you're not paying attention, then it's gonna be stuck. Caught between a rock and a hard place is Initiate's Swarm, or I don't know, whatever it's called. People name their ships interesting things for domination.
Are we disconnecting? Oh no, that'd be a terrible way to go just when they're about to win.
Well, I guess they win on technicality, which is we
Because
take those, I'm sure.
the Sulfurs just wants this. I don't think he can do this alone. That much ship loss.
Salifs can, okay, I think the Salifs can continue trying despite having lost a teammate because,
But he
there
doesn't get
was,
double the income, right?
yes, but you see, the Team Orange did lose, of course, the shield ship and the second deck cannon rammer. So, like, it's a guaranteed loss if Salif forfeits, but of course, Salifs can try and get there. It's going to be a uphill battle, I would say, though.
Yeah. Especially now only having one fin.
There's still the rail ship.
Well,
It's
that's
going
right.
to
The rail
be,
ship is.
honestly, the deck cannon rammer is probably the ideal ship for this sort of thing because you don't need to, like, give it a lot of attention. You just need to right-click an opponent's ship and then right-click its reactor, assuming it, has ammo still.
Selfless has definitely had money stored up because he just threw out a lot of ships right there.
Yes, though there are a lot of cheap ships, though. And, okay, Buchanan is not a good ship to be spammed. Buchanan is a DC ship, where you take advantage of its overwhelming speed to flank opponents and get cost efficiency through attention. It is not going to win against the brutal efficiency of things like the Swarm Bonker, which exist to just be right-clicked onto opponents and not be paid attention to. So I
I think
guess,
Selfless is going to be able to hold 3 points before the 2 minutes are up.
yeah, it's going to be rough.
The only chance is trying to hold 3 points and not trying to capture all five.
So at this point, I would say the Eno Shade, being probably the better one point or better expensive ship pilot, would want to be holding the credits, and then they just take their current ships and try and delay as long as possible for that to take place. And then as Salif's more panics more and more over time, would slowly start like choking those ships out.
Well, itself as a ship just drove in a straight line to points and ran to. Oh, what?
Interesting. That's gonna be a win for Team 2 of Lime. Not sure what's going on, guys, but
Did
um,
they disconnect simultaneously?
yep, both of them disconnected.
So they get one rematch too, right?
I, I, I'm not entirely sure. What do you think should happen?
I mean, the thing is that each team gets one rematch for a disconnect, right? So, I'm reading through the rules right now. Where is this out? Um, Rematch clause: one per tournament. Player team may request a rematch.
That's a different thing.
Set. Oh, hold up. Where is in the in-game crash disconnect? The match will be restarted twice. The crash is early. Only once if deep into the match. Okay, well, if the results are prime, certain it will be counted as valid. So if the results were certain, it'd be counted as a valid match regardless. Um,
I wouldn't say either of those circumstances were going to be consistent enough.
yeah, there's definitely a possibility for Selfless to win that.
Yeah,
He'll held with 3 for 2 minutes.
I kind of want to say that because Kawa disconnected first, it's just a win for Team 2.
So are you counting that as the one deep into the match?
Yeah, because that would be two disconnects from Salifs and Kawa.
Oh yeah, because he disconnected twice too,
Yeah, and disconnected first.
and we didn't restart because it was potentially going to
Yeah,
be.
so do you have any Would you say that would you say you're against just giving the win to Salifs and or Commandant and Nino Shade?
No, because of the whole thing where Kawa also disconnected at the
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kawa disconnected twice. So
you know,
and so I'm
that's
asking,
why that's why I'd say it's not. That's why I'm okay with handing the win over. But I think we could. Is there a way to put a poll on your stream?
I don't could.
Um, I'm okay with saying that Kamada and Inoshade won because of the two disconnects from Kawa versus the one disconnect from the other team, even though it was both at once somehow. I feel like if we run a third time, we're just gonna run into another disconnect.
Yeah, I think that's probably be best if they were determine the winner. Um, I don't know. I don't see the harm in trying to get the connection to work, but if it happens again, I'm going to give it to Team 2, the current Team 2. I feel like
Yeah.
that's fair.
So we're going ahead with the third match.
Yes. This is the last time.
It's a very tense match lineup. Let's see if there's any change of strategy to accommodate for how the last one was looking to end, but didn't quite. On the left, we have Shade and Commandant. Right, we have Kawa and Selfiz. That's yellow and pink, respectively.
So similar tactics. Shade instead going for some cannon ships. Actually have resupply for their thrusters at least.
Seems like they might be relying on beating off the ships to not instead of getting slowly destroying temporary ships.
Yes. So Salifs is being very cruel with the ion ship. Shade not paying
Mm.
attention, loses the ship early. Should have been just changing its approach angle rather than trying to retreat because it's not going to be able to escape it.
Hide behind an asteroid. That was probably his best bet.
So Shade not learning their lesson does it again.
Yeah, it's a lot of armor to get through, but we'll get through it eventually.
Has to hope to have a ally come and help it in time or to drive it out to the Ring of Death. Presumably the bonk is, right there. So should be fine.
The control room's right about exposed. Yep, there's the end of that.
That's 2 kills for it. The
That's
Cannonling is back to counteract it.
it's not looking good for Team Two.
No, that's pretty bad loss. This is probably the worst start they've had thus far.
And even they rely on a good start in order to win with the strategy of Pink.
There we go. That's what they wanted from... Yeah, that's what the Cannonling is built to do, and it does it very effectively.
Speed
And
and the EBs on it, electric bolts.
yeah, the Disruptors. The Cannon probably got a kill because it's damaged, but the opponent it was facing is currently decomposing.
I was facing after Charlie right now with a mostly dead ship, so or at least the fires are gonna make it mostly dead soon.
Well, it can't really fight back anymore, but it still can capture points and be disruptive, and its opponents don't know that it doesn't have weapons because there's fog of war. Alpha being captured, actually. Bravo was neutralized. So it wasn't, it's not generating money at least. But it will presumably be captured soon.
Kawa disrupting Alpha's capture with his ship.
Yeah, continuing to demonstrate that a quote-unquote dead ship can still be very disruptive. Equally obnoxious. I've done similar things myself. I've been kicked from games for doing similar things myself. It should be going away now.
So similar things happening on the other side with Bravo. There's just one ship that's just circling Selfaz, and Selfaz isn't able to land a shot. And it's just been going and going and going. I have a feeling both players are not using direct control right now.
Yeah, they're probably not paying attention to that interaction. So Kala already has a deck cannon rammer on the field, which is kind of a huge problem. Salif's nearly loses the Ion Kite again, and is probably going to lose it when it gets stuck against the asteroid.
Well, the other against the asteroid too.
Commandant is going to
You know,
lose another bonk to the
from
deck cannon
behind,
rammer.
that's the worst place to take the hit. That was
Oof.
yeah, that one's dead.
Buchanan at the start is abandoned and ignored as Kawa focuses on more important things.
Bravo's still going in circles.
Salv, sick of it, spawns 2 ships to deal with it. Both of them missing completely. Salvus probably didn't actually tell ships to, isn't actually piloting those ships, it wouldn't seem. Or he's doing a not great job at it because the unpiloted cannonling is still outrunning all 3 ships.
It's going round and round and round. It's only one good hit to take it out.
Well, one good hit you're not gonna get. Cannonling coming for the Ion Kite yet again, the O. And it shall end probably just as quickly as it did last time. Let's see. Sal is properly dealing with it this time, backing up
Well, he has to
preemptively.
pull away. Lost his sizable amount of firepower, so that might not work too well next time.
Well, you only really need the disruptors because the cannons can destroy and pierce the very fragile prisms and reactor.
Bravo's still not captured,
Yeah, those 2 temporary ships did not fulfill their purpose, and now they're out of energy.
we just tried positioning one along the flight path.
I kind of thought that that's what Salves would have done, but didn't, you know.
Yeah, Canning Link
Cannon,
just got defeated.
yes. Even though it didn't, well, if Salves doesn't pay attention, then it's going to be more than enough, even if it's dead. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Salves
getting
is losing that ship right now.
it
Yeah,
is taking substantial damage. Turn around at this point because Canning Link's pretty much not damaging at all.
I'm gonna say
He
that
drove,
ship is dead already. Like, there's no way it gets back in time.
yeah, he didn't need to go out that far. He could have just come back earlier.
Well, that's why you need to be paying attention to what your ships are doing.
Honestly, that
Bravo
shield could have
finally,
sustained the damage.
yeah, Bravo finally captured. The issue is, I don't think the Team 2 has any way to deal with the deck cannon rammer. Like, at all. Like, you can't bring more deck cannons and beat it in a slapping fight. You can't outrun it.
Oh, and now with two larger ships,
Yeah, like, the
Self
thing
is
is, like,
standing up for something.
you're never gonna get enough damage concentration to outcompete the DC rammer with individual ships. Like swarm tactics only work if you have um more speed and can, actually leverage the speed and flank. But that's just not gonna occur here.
I would just like plows through and takes a ship with him so he doesn't get flanked.
Yeah, and it's like it's not gonna deal nearly enough. It's not ever gonna deal enough damage to actually beat it. Shield thing might be taking damage. To the cannonling, well, not anymore. Especially if it gets railed from behind.
Yeah. Swarm Bonker's dead.
Oh,
Actually, no, it has control rooms and everything. Never mind.
it's dead-ish. So we'll be running out of power eventually. Or if Salus continues to cut them out with the railguns.
Oh, shield thing is dead. Actually, it's got a control room. Maybe you could make it back in time to repair, but
Or warp home. No, well, it has the capacitor. If you had a relay, it could probably warp home and repair. Hmm. So I'm noticing that they still have the 3 points, because they captured Alpha initially. So I speculate that they could potentially just continue holding 3 points for 4 minutes, and then when the timer runs out, it doesn't matter if they're at a massive disadvantage because they still have the points.
that's true. They could just keep on sending ships to waste time. They might even
As
want to get cheaper, just like
yeah,
the
just
most garbage ships out there.
repeat the Bravo catastrophe where one ship is just holding it against 5 times its cost.
I think it took out two smaller ships with it. Well, the railgun's going to make that stuff a little bit harder. Salfez's other deck rammer is now gone.
Hmm. Salphas? I don't think Salphas ever spawned one.
Look right above Alpha to the right, upper right corner.
Ah,
There's a D2.
that wasn't. I don't think that was Salphas. No, that was. Never mind. It is dead. Yes. So more swarm bonkers being spawned. I don't
Oh,
under,
Alpha's starting to go away. Know that.
I don't know
I
what they
doubt it's
hope to
going to stay that way
accomplish with
though.
those though.
There's another two ships headed the
I would
at
say
the red.
maybe like missile ships might be a better expenditure because they're gonna get guaranteed damage on the weaker parts of the DC rammer and the rail orbiter because missiles arc around the fronts. Like the deck cannons are always just gonna be going through the fronts and then failing to do so when you can just go home and repair. Style of spawning more Buchanans named Blue, strangely, to capture Echo and Charlie, I'm sure.
Another canneling spawned in. That's probably not going to do too much though.
Oh, they might get behind the rail ship. No, deck cannons turn way too slowly.
Selfis seems to be trying for Point Echo now, and Commandant looks to be going for Delta.
Just ignoring each other as they pass by. Like, don't mind me. Shades preemptively spawning a EMP ship, assuming that those might be capacitor ships. Will not be correct. And South is sending both of them to chase after, despite the fact that you win the game by capturing points.
See, 2 minutes to capture Alpha is what it says.
2.5. Slightly more than 2.5.
What happens if they have a draw? Is it like next person to capture a point?
Yes. It's like whoever neutralizes it or such. I don't think that'll realistically be occurring.
You, um, if they keep
Though
holding on, there's a chance.
it'd be quite the impressive feat though, because they only have like 3 ships on the field and all of them are dying.
There's jump on Charlie and soon to be a jump on Echo, so they might lose all five. And they've
Yeah,
got one ship on a point right now.
they've just been like completely bled out of ships they could spawn.
Is it real low now?
Yeah, both spawning ships as soon as they can, and it's still not doing anything. Like there's so much of a cost inequality here.
I think we'll start here. But
Charlie neutralized but not captured because Alice is just abandoning it. Echo is probably going to be neutralized, perhaps.
DC
So,
rammers all repaired and re-ammoed.
yes. So the issue is that I think that Team 1, Team Pink, would have won by now if they'd had proper small cannon fighters, but they only have the Buchanan. And as previously mentioned, if you don't give attention to the Buchanan, its effectiveness is very little.
Well, Kyro's kind of stuck on an asteroid. He's got sideways thrust, so he'll get off.
Hopefully.
That'd be an interesting way to lose that ship. Because
and
now all 3 points are secure, and they've got a minute and a half to take a point.
yeah, like I said, it's like they needed to have different ships other than the blues. I think that there might be better built-in ships from like the Monolith or Imperium with cannons for this task, which is kind of amusing, if anything.
Yeah, they've really got to get moving there. That's not the best. Wait, where'd that one rail ship go? Did that die a little bit ago?
I'm pretty sure it died because it got flanked by 2 of the triple deck cannon ships. I'd say part of the issue is that their linchpin, that is the DC rammer, can't pick and choose its targets at all because like once it gets something in its mouth, it has to kill it, and then it kind of has to wait for that to decompose, and then it can go back to fighting. With something like an avoider that comes to mind because that's my weapon of choice, it's you can actively disengage and choose what to kill whenever you want, and once it's dead, you don't have to continue worrying about it.
Yeah, they've got a problem is also the ship's still alive. They can't really they can't focus on the point with unless they bring the ship with them.
Yeah, and it's like consistently Kawa has been incapable of using it to also capture points at the same time
There's
because,
50 seconds, just under a minute left. This is
certainly coming down to the wire. And
yeah.
as demonstrated on Bravo, you just need to delay and you can continue to hold or deny a point even if you're like very clearly outgunned there.
Let's see, five of the Kawa's blues are coming in, and a purple that might run into an asteroid. Not well.
Well, the issue here is that I would say that there's now going to be so many ships that it's going to body block each other and keep the ships alive that are currently on Alpha because they can't line up a shot because they're all in each other's way. However, this of course does rely upon the fact of a ship being maintained on Alpha from Team Yellow. However, that seems to be properly the case because 2 ships are currently en route
Yeah,
in
there's
this.
they need Honestly, what Scholarship needs to do is ram those guys, just drag them away. Because that
Yeah.
30 seconds, that's start real get really close.
Oh, not piloting the DC ship at all. It doesn't have any thruster input. Probably assigning all of his ships to go to Echo desperately. I think that this is going to be a win from Team Yellow.
One's got to clear up those. Okawa doesn't really have much ammo left. And he's got one of his own ships stuck on him.
Yeah. It can at least fire over that ship, but it doesn't matter because, like, there's an entire additional ship that needs to be moved out of the way.
Now
Oh,
it's
Shade, you need to keep it out of the maws. There's a second ship, it strafed back. No, it's dead, never mind.
there's one ship on Alpha right now. That one ship is really making this difference. I think it might be too late. They gotta take off that control room fast. Hold up,
Okay,
maybe?
let's see. Can this melt in
Oh,
8 seconds? 7,
I don't think so.
6,
Yeah, that's not enough.
5,
Who
4,
knows? We should get another ship on there to make it
3,
go faster. No?
2. Nope, that's it.
Oh wait, no, Echo. Echo's gone.
Oh, they lost Echo.
Oh,
Oh
paying
no.
attention to Echo. This might be it.
I think that's it. If they had kept Echo for like a single second longer, then it would have been it. But no,
Yep.
they lost Alpha too.
Oh, that was so close.
Oh, that was close. They definitely deserve that. Both teams.
That was a well fought with this connects. That was came down to a couple seconds at the end.
Came down to exactly a couple seconds.
That was like an hour or something. Already
All
2 hours
right.
into this. We've got what,
Wow.
3 fights in?
So Kawa and Selvs will be moving on. Now we have Sad Fox and Yugi
That was hard fought that.
versus Eddie 64 and Graph. Graph is the first to join. Very impressed. I kind of wanted to see Yellow win. Like, behind the entire match, still manages to win.
Yeah, they're really interesting. That's so close.
Let's see, are Yugi and Sad Fox around? Sad Fox and Sad Fox for sure is definitely there. They're not banned or anything. I guess I don't know where Yugi is, but
He's in the Discord. So
yeah.
he said, hold on, let me re-enter.
Yeah, it could be connection issues, weirdness, whatever.
Part of her job as tournament master is to repeat the password a million
Yeah.
times.
Despite it being stated in announcements. Oh well.
Those who don't know and are gonna ask sorry's in the future. It's glow.
Sad Fox is still in the lobby, not joining. Not sure what that's about.
Said his teammate in alone. There he is.
Ta-da, everyone has joined. I will take a moment to share the bracket as it is currently. As you can see, this is the top half of the winners bracket. This is the double elimination tournament. We'll be having the entire top half today. And well, we'll be having the entire top half today. And then all of the bottom half tomorrow, I think. Seems accurate. Yes, that is accurate. So I should now turn it off and start the game. Ooh, interesting arrangement. Team Purple at the bottom already with connection issues. Versus Team Cyan at the top. Ooh, very interesting ships. I haven't seen anything like these. Also has FTL stores. Interesting. I think that's the first time I've seen that. Oh, it's gonna be one of those matches, is it?
It might be.
My understanding, Yugi is actively streaming to the Chinese community, and they are watching from him, and he's connecting to me, and he's presumably in China. So that's like four different things that are all just kind of being problematic at the same time. So that's why I suspect the problem is anyhow. But these next 10 minutes are probably going to be the next half hour actually. Which is always a delightful occurrence.
Someone's asking in Discord, losers brackets next week, right?
Yes, losers bracket is
All right.
next week. I wonder, should we even cast this? Because like the casting is going to be 3 times longer than the actual match because I'm going to be re-recording it, right?
You
So casting this, I don't know.
they make one-off comments or whatever. Something's interesting is happening. That way they can be edited in, or at least when you're going through it yourself, you can be reminded to like notice something.
Just like talking 1/3 speed.
Yeah. Oh, he shoots.
I heard a teleport. Why would you ever like move
Purple's
around when you can teleport in style?
Purple's doing pretty well.
Ooh. Doo doo doo.
It's almost all of the points being purple soon.
It'd certainly be a merciful end to the lag. What do you mean rematch? What? Rematch isn't gonna change anything. It's still gonna be laggy.
Oh, there's a disconnect from the people in the lead too.
Yeah, Yugi decides to continue trying.
I think he's gonna really struggle to get all 5 points.
Well, I mean, Alpha's already there.
It's one really fast ship. Yeah, 115.
Shame that they didn't have it for. Well, it gets its equalized now.
1 for 1. They were doing a 1v1. I guess
It's only fair, really.
um,
Yes, this is the type of play I was expecting and thinking that would be extremely dominant in the playing of just having a really fast ship because of its size, and then it completely bypasses the speed issues of your other ships.
seems to be working.
Yeah, because like 4 of the 5 points already captured, not a minute and a half into the game.
Oh, there's a reactor built ship. That ship is not going to last long. See a pattern of small reactors by Team One, which is usually a bad sign in ship design. So
Amusingly, somebody on Discord has commented turn-based gaming.
just this one more point and it's over. And what's approaching is a
As
ship that's
that's not a good approach.
just that one reactor blows up and it's over. It's got 4 small reactors on these ships, which means their cost efficiency is
They
wait, why do
have
they
a
have 4 reactors? They have cannons. What?
they have a ton of useless armor on the back too, as well as like the FTL storage. Like I got like, they are very unique looking, and I do appreciate that, but I don't think that they're going to be capable of going up against a team that's as um practiced and clean as Yugi is here.
You even with both players, I feel like Yugi would have won because
Yeah,
of those ships didn't even like dent.
Yugi left.
Now we
So
must
sad.
suffer the lag during the next match.
Well, they still had 2 more matches even if they lost them because of the losers bracket, so it's fine. Okay, so Bioluminescent and Tapeable versus Space Cat and T-Rex. Luminescent and Tapeable versus at Space Cat and T-Rex. Space. But very impressively done. Yugi and Sidefox, to my understanding, are some of the very scarier players. Some of the more practiced ones. So, I am not super surprised by them already winning, is all.
See if we get people joining up soon. Do any of these players have experience with Domination a lot?
I know T-Rex plays it a lot, and I've beaten Space Cat, but that doesn't mean Space Cat plays it a lot. So, you know,
All right, we got one player here. And everyone else.
here we go. And then once this is determined, we'll be already moving on.
Space Cat not ready in? Is he got something going on or
I don't know. It's
the odd man out?
there we go. Ta-da.
A very lined up map. I have a feeling that's gonna make it go faster because there's nothing that's like right next to anybody's spawn.
Stars are very much aligned, it would seem. Ooh, and we are crispy smooth.
Oh yeah. This is a
T-Rex with their iconic yellow, red, and slightly purple ships.
I feel like I'm at 1x speed right now. Is it? Like what?
It's normally it is 1x speed.
Oh it is, okay.
It just
I'm used
hasn't
to
felt like that.
domination.
Yeah. Worth noting for other viewers that this is of course at 1x speed, but 1/2 speed is the probably more standard time. Already an advantage is being drawn by Team Darker Blue.
They are lose Charlie.
Yes. Mary Frockus in the center. Very fond of the Golem from Space Cat, being piloted very well, very swiftly. Seems to have more ammo than his opponent, or has been fighting for less time.
See if we get a use of repairs and stuff today.
Yes. It doesn't seem as though none of you... any of these ships are FTL equipped thus far.
Yeah. We could try flying back, but I don't see many of these people doing that.
Well, Tapables on 3 could warp home now, because there is a cheap beacon at home, and it has an FTL drive. Yeah, it's doing that right now. It's not charging
Really,
up nearly fast enough.
I'm assuming the beacon's very brand new.
There we go.
What we were talking about earlier about someone throwing something together. It looks like that.
Managed to get home in time. Delta and Bravo being captured, very nice. These Yo-Man ships are very good at just dealing with other small ships because they have a lot of armor and can just punish other ships for trying to ram them and such. I have tried fighting them with Buchanan before because I also use Buchanan. And if you can get behind them, it's pretty good, but they are good at tracking and dealing with smaller ships.
Blue has no points right now.
Oof. That
That
is
is
not
not a good position for them.
pretty bad position, yeah.
And
The
in fact, they
on-3 is fully repaired back at home.
can also lose their bioluminescence ship because of a lack of thrust. That should show up very soon.
Yeah. And no reactor. I'm kind of surprised. I would imagine that there'd be at least one reactor there. But no, it's...
Not sure that big.
Yeah, it's like
Being
it's...
flying home and repair seems to be important.
For smaller ships, it makes sense to have no reactor because you get more and more cost efficiency. But it becomes less and less a good idea for more expensive ships to not give them reactors.
Blue has almost all the points.
Well, that's the thing with the Yo-Man Mark IIIs is that they can't contest things very well if it's against the bigger size, because they're functionally swarm ships, right? They are supposed to... They're... I think the term is hunter killer, where functionally it's you outrun things that are scarier than you and you run down things that are weaker than you.
This deck
Except,
can shoot over your allies to get a little advantage in a swarm compared to most other ship types.
yeah, that is a nice thing about deck cannons is that they can fire over ally ships. Recent change.
Echo
Some may
has
not
a
be aware
forgotten
of it.
ship getting slowly destroyed.
That kind of hurts to watch.
Yeah. You could have won the fight.
Probably, maybe.
It is awoken. Turn around.
Issue of ammo rearing its ugly head yet again. Bravo is captured at least, but I think the more powerful mainstays of the blue fleet are really coming into play here.
Seems like there's gonna be an ammo refill soon. Yeah, darker blue seems to be doing a little better now they've got so many big ships out.
Yes. It was the wave of Yeomans that beat out the initial spawning cappers and such, and then the 6 LC ships from Tapeable that then beat those. Yeah, this presumably micro heavy ships win on paper because, you know, they always flank, they always swarm better. But the issue is, of course, in execution because it takes a lot of attention to give all of the necessary attention to all of your ships, such that it doesn't regularly happen. But I'm pretty sure that there is an argument for to always be having trade-offs because of that. Because despite the fact that it's theoretically more efficient, sometimes you just need the brick solution, like the consistent, it will work because I applied enough force.
How much time does one control room have in it with refills
I
in terms of
I don't know.
energy?
I do not know. Oh, fortunately T-Rex and body blocking Space Cat ship a little bit. Though, I mean, if it can get the shot, then it will have been worth it. Seems like it will. Oh! Warped away just in time. Oh, it lost the reactor.
It's a thing ship.
The cannon shot very may well have teleported with the ship as it was entering the reactor. The first time we've seen missiles in the tournament from Spacecast Mana 500. Very cool. Kind of a persistence weapon where you cut out the opponent rather than the blitz and just
Missiles
direct damage.
EMPs.
Pardon?
The ship doesn't just have missiles; it has nukes and EMPs.
Yes, we've seen nukes though. We haven't seen He missiles. Unfortunately, it's really showing why it's not commonly used, and that is you need to maintain a range advantage. Otherwise, it just loses in the straight up contest.
So a few heavily damaged ships right around Bravo.
Yes, both teams content to just leave ships where they may because they'll just like be a disincentive.
Refill ammo. Does it refill capacitors?
Yes, pretty sure. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong.
Right, so there's some use to that. This match is actually seems like a go all the way. Not seeing anybody winning too fast.
It's been a very consistent back and forth for sure. Total income has been as close as it has been among all the matches, with only a 200k difference, which is not a lot as we've saw in previous matches. So Alpha seems to be no, it was being captured, but now it's been contested. The ship's actually arrived back on time. Bravo being contested, of course.
I think the map styles really made this game very back and forth. Everything in line.
I think it'd be ideal if we could choose which maps to be picking. I think that could be very engaging for Domination. But that's a suggestion for another time, because definitely won't be implemented anytime soon. Another matchup versus of the Golem versus the Un-3. Perhaps, maybe. Don't know.
Echo being captured. Sneaky ship taking that out.
Yeah, it's... I imagine that they just put the ship there and left it and imagined that it would remain there. But, the Un-3 being dispatched there is definitely going to be more than capable of taking it out.
Ooh, big hits to play. That ship's already dead. Got a
Yeah,
side hit to a control room.
took almost no damage except for the necessary damage.
You can tell Bioluminescence is trying to be careful with his lack of thrust on one of his ships.
Maybe I'm wrong. Like the raw cost efficiency of these 2x DC3-3XC ships, very creative name, is seems to be pretty good. But it is also the case that Space Cat's overly elegant ships don't have much in terms of ruggedness, especially compared to their direct competitors that are currently killing them.
Be interesting if there's a way to like transfer power between ships.
That currently does not exist. I've seen it suggested many times or talked about many times, enough that I am certain that it does not exist. There's no way to transfer power through airlocks, at least.
It's interesting, like to ship batteries to have rechargeable ships or whatever.
I think that would require some sort of like um additional part that like can transmit energy like through a beam or such. Maybe as a roof turret. To manually transfer it through airlocks between ships would be far too slow to ever be effective.
It's like there's a solid hold on the bottom 3 points by darker blue.
Maybe all it takes is a good deck cannon ship, and it doesn't matter how many large cannons you have because the deck cannons are so much more efficient, you know. So if the clay remains uninterrupted by the Un-3 of Tapeable, then I would say it's going to be fine. But I think Tapeable knows what it is and is currently gunning for it.
Now behind him, ooh, took out 3 thrusters right there once they run out of power because they're no longer connected. That's a sniper shot. Managed to get a wedge between a standard thruster to get the engine room behind it. So now none of the thrusters have power.
It's worth noting that engine rooms also do provide 50% additional thrust, so the ship is made slower as well.
And now it's lost that side. It could crawl its way back though.
It does have a FTL, which I expect to see warming up sometime soon too. Bioluminescent talking to tape directly through the game chat. Presumably not in a call. I imagine that the majority of players are going to be in voice calls to actually discuss strategies and tactics because it's pretty painful trying to play the game and then talk in text chat too.
And read like trying to do stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot worse. But I suppose it could probably explain how some of the struggles have occurred in recent matches.
The people who are on voice call are going to have a significant advantage, especially when it comes to getting into the finals.
Not necessarily significant, like it will matter, but I don't think it'll be an absolute deal breaker if you're in a voice call or not.
Yeah, you can see this. Team Cyan calling it seems like
The
losing the fade,
Yeoman, yeah, the
which makes
Yeoman
it
M3s were not capable of dealing with the efficiency of the on 3s and 2xDC, 3xCs.
there's certainly a ship value difference between the teams right now.
It's only what, nearly 4 times, more than 4 times as much in terms of fleet value, and a 4v1 point advantage.
Oh, and 20 seconds left. Oh, nobody's on call. Apparently, capable isn't on call. Or T-Rex. So, well, sorry, somebody's saying the other team. So we caught one team using text chat, but the other one was just confessed right now. Charlie is getting. Well, it doesn't matter. Game's already over.
Yeah,
And
not exactly a way
if
to come back from that one.
if this 1 second could pass in more than under 5, there we
Ima-
go.
Imagine it disconnects and somebody claims, I think I want a rematch. It
It
disconnected there.
really made the game's
Oh,
difference.
obviously would have mattered. We were about to make the comeback of all time.
Team 2 needs a rematch. All right, let's see. Now we're on to our next level of the brackets.
Yes, that is the case. So, and Hanselcat, probably the #1 seed since they won the last tournament. And
The last domination tournament, to be clear, guys, because
yes, they don't play elimination.
so then they are really a specialty.
Yes, these players made a name for themselves through domination, is my understanding. Yikes! Why do you say yikes? Yikes! What?
That's we'll get a response from him in a minute.
Yikes isn't a very nice thing to say, just unprompted.
He saw my face. And we're just waiting on name. And Hansel Cat are evidently veterans at joining quickly.
Yeah, it's the first time they showed up for the tournament. They've like also appeared the soonest. It was very impressive. You looking at the bracket again. As you can see, it is the very top match now, and Hanselcat versus Hollow and Name. And then it'll be 5 matches, and then we're gonna be done for the day. Let's go.
Just waiting on name to ready. See what strategies will get employed.
Yes, I'm very
I think
curious.
this is the first time we're having domination since the what do you call it? The beacons. What are they called? Teleporter. Um, my brain
Oh,
is dying.
off to a very fast start here.
As is usual with and Hansel Cat of
Yes,
both teams.
and Hanselcat are very scary players. Name and Halloween proved themselves to also be scary. So we're definitely seeing a much larger focus on numbers here, which I think makes sense because, and Hanselcat are veterans and know how to take advantage of it properly. So, they are very much taking advantage of the fact that this is an RTS game.
Hansel
Not
Cat losing one of his ships on the right side. All these fast ships are gonna be able to run back for repairs quite easily.
If they survive, of course, and if they have the energy to do so. I'm pretty sure none of these ships on the field have reactors for the most part. Like the one is the Varus Mark III that got spawned early.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's you're right. See, Hansel Cat taking Bravo and Echo.
So the interesting thing is that the Varus being deployed at the center killed like it held the line as like the anchor and killed several ships by itself, which is I think a good demonstration of why deck cannons are so powerful is you can put them behind so much armor and they still deal so much damage.
Echo just Cyan just has 1 point left.
Team
A
1
big one.
very aggressively capturing all the points, yeah.
Cyan will probably take. Actually, they should pay attention because it really Brav was in an interesting position. Two ships not facing each other. It's about to end bad for Hollow End. Oh my! That was a full ship that just got destroyed because it wasn't paying attention.
So to my understanding, the tactics here are to extract as much value as possible, which is why all of these ships are very similar. It's 4 large cannons, no reactor, mostly forward thrust, and it's a very common archetype. We saw it all of last tournament, and we're seeing a lot of it here now, because of course it is very effective, and it can just outcompete any other like fighter. Like trying to use a Buchanan here, for example, it's like even if you can presumably out micro an opponent, you won't be winning a fight when you're having 3 times as much firepower pointed at you.
Seems like Cyan is struggling with their ships getting stuck on each other. I see 3 fully healthy ships just piled up at one place right below Bravo.
Oof.
That is pretty unfavorable loss right there.
Probably a demonstration of the experience difference here, in that Team Blue has been largely keeping their ships very separate from one another and performing just fine. I would say that they
Yes.
do have a lot of ships that need to be sent home because they don't have any ammo left. But
See that on
past that,
Bravo, Hansel Cat and A&D run into each other and make a sandwich.
oh, so are their opponents, so it balances out. But yeah, 4 of the 5 points already captured with no cyan points left.
No, everything's just rushing Bravo. That's the one ship defending Echo, kind of.
Yeah, Hansel does need to. No, that's the same team still. Never mind. Team Cyan very quickly being pushed out from the game. The police car, a ship that appears to be just a armor stick that exists to hold a point.
Yeah, there goes Bravo very quickly. Echoes, as long as Echo holds on, which it seems like it will. Actually, no, Name got a big ship on Bravo, so that's back in the game now.
Let's see, they. The thing is that even if you have like the same strategy of holding a point, it's like you need more points to start with to like then draw it out. Because if you don't have more points, like the team facing Kawa did, then you will just be bled out through more and more ships. Because
Yeah,
like
now there's
currently,
just that one ship that's abandoning the point. Um, Brick just abandoned the point. That's just doing what?
well, nukes were coming and it was gonna be dead otherwise.
Yeah, that is true.
And that
It
is
was.
gonna be no,
Oh,
not yet. Nobody's on the point.
Megan Smith can also abandon the point.
So it's worth noting, even though there is a ship there, you need to have the ship be above minimum value. And if your ship gets damaged and it is at minimum value, oof, that's a hard. That hurts.
Well,
Nicely done. And then
it's kind of
Hanselcat
when you go
defending
up
their
against
title.
the favorites who really practice domination. Well fought.
Very impressive. Very impressive. So now we have Walnut and Zamako versus Nesmus and Ketch. Zamako's AFK, because of course. Okay, well, Kawa and Salas versus Sad Fox and Yuki.
We got Kawa in.
Nicely done, Kawa, joining very quickly. Excuse me. I can't say I recommend drinking liquids down the wrong tube.
We're performing experiments for us right now.
Okay, so something I was trying to say earlier in the previous match is that the minimum ship value, which is 50k here, is that if your ship does not meet that, you cannot capture a point with it. So I imagine that Hans and Hanselcat's ships as well as Anne's ships were so efficient that they were taking enough damage to go below that price point, which is why certain ships were sometimes not capping if they were too damaged. So that's a new interaction that exists because um like the splitting ships were obnoxious, so they were patched. That was the solution. Yeah. The co-caster has disconnected.
I've lost connection.
Oh, maybe you should join.
Where's back? Oh, someone gave me a ship.
Impressive. I'm kind of wondering why Cotton and Salas need to see each other's ships, given that they'll just be using the same ships and the same strategies, but
Trying to
whatever.
design each other's ships, maybe.
I suppose so. I feel like you'd want to have all of your friends' ships saved so you can switch to them in the match, though. Because like allow changing fleet loadout.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we haven't seen enough variety to warrant that. But,
Are we ready? Everyone's ready?
Uh,
Who could just come in with like completely different ships next week?
you could. Nothing against it.
As long as you're not like completely stealing someone's design, little copy and paste.
Hmm. Interesting.
Kawa starts off with his usual blues. Actually, wait, it's he started with two, which is unusual when he's trying to save money. And then Sad Fox and Yugi. Sad Fox is causing us lag.
It's all right. Um.
I like
So I
Yugi.
imagine,
Yuki's paint job. I really like that style.
yes, it's very iconic. I think most of the good domination players have their own like established paint styles, so that you know the ships are theirs and such, which is very cool. This is probably where the Buchanans are going to shine, is when you're facing an equal amount of lower quality ships, because you can just chase after them and win head-on fights. They
Like
just need
Stealth and
to,
the Blues have reactors. The other
yeah,
ships don't.
they just need to avoid the pebble that's on the field, and then they can extract value by killing the ships in 1v1s. So the issue is that Yugi and Sidefox need to not spend so much that the opponents are then incapable of being brought down when they bring in their more expensive ships, because they should have been watching the tournament and knowing that was their tactic.
The shields seem to be making a rather healthy difference in the fights.
Well, yeah, it's cannons are not great against shields. They lose a lot of the damage that they gain from penetration because the shield just absorbs all the penetration and such.
There's a ooh, that's that's one way to start this off. I highly doubt Sad Fox is going to get this on his own, so I think he
You never
probably has
know.
to see what he says.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I thought.
makes sense.
Gonna wait for you're launching in 7.
Ah, yes. I assumed that Yugi had rejoined. Not sure why. Let's hope the connection remains consistent here. Hear what Yugi's up to?
Yeah, someone's cutting these undersea cables right now.
Hmm.
Yugi's in the Discord, so
Presumably. See. Rematch required, says Yugi. Waiting on you. Intermission time, yeah.
bring out the word "wheeze" in a Scrabble game. Get people throwing hands.
I tried to get Yaldov one time. It didn't fly. Nobody would. Everyone was yelling very quickly.
One thing I've always want, I know people I play with would accept it, but y'alls would typically not
Dolls.
want that.
I guess I can understand y'all's not being okay.
Not much different than y'all.
I don't get why they were so upset about Yaldav because like I wasn't gonna win anyways. Like you may as well let it go just for the sake of friendly competition because there was no way I was gonna get back.
Yeah. Gee,
Oh
I,
well,
I somehow do well, even though I suck with words. I don't know why.
luck.
Like, I think it's because I managed to, because I'm good. I tend to be better with numbers, and I'm good at taking advantage of like doubles and triples and that kind of stuff. So even though I might use terrible words, I kind of place them well.
I suppose it makes sense. I've never been a fan. I much prefer games like Cosmoteer.
Yeah. So there's like a ton. Another one but I play that one a lot. Too
I
much.
always heard that was good, but never had time to play it. It was like, why would a school buy like a Catan set when they can buy like 8 chess sets?
I've never been that good at chess for some reason. My elo's I think around 1,000. Just, I mean, I guess that's not bad, but it's mid.
Let's see. It might have been a misinput from Kawa to buy 2 of the ships. Because he's only spawning one now.
Sad Fox and Yugi come out with the Pebble this time. So I guess they're not saving up for something, maybe? Perhaps last
Mm.
time they were saving for a bigger ship to counter Kawa and Salfez.
The thing is, I don't think the Side Fox and Yugi have big ships, or if they do, they're definitely not experienced with using them, which is kind of an issue because Kawa and Salves are, even if they're a little bit bad with using small ships. I just don't think that they'll be able to make up that inequality, really, with small ships.
Salfez looking to run into an asteroid. Ooh, barely dodges that.
Interesting. It may be the case that Side Fox and Yugi are familiar enough with domination maps that they knew the asteroid was there, which is impressive to say the least. Because both of the ships currently heading to Alpha naturally avoided the asteroid.
See that? Also, maybe the lag is causing troubles piloting.
Yes, the Buchanan is a little bit hard to pilot with lag. It suffers more from it because you have to actively input direct control commands.
In the Discord, Hanselkin says, if Yugi and Fox gut win, I will eat the my display. Blue just quickly lost Selfist. He lost that. He's blue.
Seems like Alpha's being captured. Might be the case that Hansel Cancel gonna have to eat their display.
Yes, unless someone does something fast. There's already a ship moving on Echo, too.
Deciding to go early is Salifs, is Kawa. Both players whining a lot.
This is not looking very good. Is that Echo is going to fall before anyone can get there with 3 ships versus 1.
Probably.
Oh, and 2 nuke ships just spawned, nuke sticks.
Counteract the D2 from Kawa, I'm sure. So it is just Echo left. The strategy being very much punished by
Self is not
um
happy about the lag by any means.
yeah, no kidding.
See, 2 ships just got taken out by D2. In fact, one's completely gone because there's no control room left. But it seems like they're holding off, waiting for all the deck cannon ships to come in at the same time.
Well, they only need to get the deck cannon ships behind Power, and then like that armor is gonna crumple pretty quickly to 2 deck cannons, much less 3 or 4.
So just ramming and would do it. They got to spend their money at some point. Do they have much money left right now, or is it
Salves has 500k and Kawa 200k.
those new ships are about to pull up right now, and that can go very badly.
Kawa doesn't seem to notice or is desperately trying to do something. What that something is, I'm not sure. I don't
This is gonna be interesting. Those are looking dead on.
see. Might hit
Oh
friendly.
yeah, that was a brutal hit. There's one more coming.
Yeah, breached the armor. It might just be trying to push out the D2 and then capture the point anyhow.
So the deck cannons took a deck cannon out and left a hole that another.
Yeah,
Yeah, that point's starting to go.
there's no more defenses there, so if a ship starts firing there, then it will be dealing damage.
I don't see Kawa winning this and Selphus winning this. They got to get on that point really fast. They have no ships spawning right now. It's very strange because it takes just one good barrage until that's over. Oh, maybe barely getting in, but if that's yeah,
Ship's dead.
that's over. There we go. The round over.
Round is indeed over.
At least there wasn't as much of a lag issue as last time.
Yeah, that
Still
was
wasn't bad.
it wasn't great, but still that was a lot more fine than I feel like either of them were implying.
No disconnects. That was a good thing.
It's like even if you had proper connection, it would not have changed much of the efficiency that was taking place there.
Yeah, I don't think Cohen Selphus' strategy was going to work there because Yu-Gi-Oh and the Sad Fox played a little effectively. So we do we have up next? Should have
Catcha. I'm trying to. There's several catches, so I was trying to recall which one it was.
Walnut, Zimanko, and Newsmiss and Catch are the one we skipped. Then there's with it Bio Incapable versus Percy Tim and Tony. No, there we go. We got those people in. How much of an audience does Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, Yu-Gi have as a stream?
I think it's like 30 people. The issue is that because he is in the Chinese community as such, he's in the Chinese community, which means that they can't actually watch the tournament through YouTube. So the only way that they get to participate is if they watch through him streaming from me and such.
Oh, oh yeah, that's right. They don't even have access to YouTube in China, right?
I don't know, because like Yugi can obviously access YouTube and Discord and such. So I don't know what the situation is.
I think they have some app that runs a lot of stuff to do their video stuff on, but I can't remember what it was called. I believe it's connected to WeChat though. One of my struggles in Scrabble is I keep coming up with if I end up with too many X's, I's, and O's and whatnot, keep coming up with like Chinese words to use that aren't accepted because we're playing English Scrabble. Seems like we have everyone.
Seems that we do.
Waiting on Zimako that I'm probably mispronouncing.
Pardon?
All right, here we go.
Wow, this is probably the most spread out a map has been thus far.
This map pitch is like split into two sections, but you only need to hold the north section to win. So
Hmm. Suppose that is true. Interesting case of the Chimera ship. Haven't seen anything like it with a deck cannon and 3 nuke launchers on the side. Very interesting. I wonder what the thought process was behind that one.
oh, that's thought we had a DC for a second. They are fighting over both sides, so
It seems to be the case that Team Blue is committing a lot more to the um top zones.
the nukes did a decent amount of side damage to a CAD TP, taking out the control room and almost a reactor.
That's probably gonna be the rest of the firepower that it imparts on that ship though.
Yeah, those EMPs are brutal, but it's one more shot. If that shot lands well, they got to fire it now, though. Oh, they just ran.
Yeah, that makes sense really.
Yeah. They could have taken it out though, and now the other guy's gonna run too. I assume. No reason not to, unless he gets destroyed first,
Nice.
or just destroyed that. So I guess that was well played. And now that nuke ship's just headed back, all repaired and everything.
Back to full health, like it wasn't even damaged.
So I guess that was real well played. Maybe there was a control room issue once they lost the one control room.
Nuke ship seems to be coming into play to remove the fortress from Ketcha.
Oh, the nukes just missed, and whatever hit was blocked by ketchup. So I can't TP it.
Unfortunate.
That nuke ship is
No.
dispensable pretty much, unless it runs and gets refilled.
Yes, no ammo left for the Ketcha though, so it needs to, or for the fortress, so it needs to go home so it can actually continue fighting.
Could be interesting choice to use four small storages instead of one large one.
Yeah,
Same size,
I'm not
but now
sure what
they're
the
having
thought process there is, really.
they're paying for a lot more doors, but more importantly, full ammo storage is slightly explosive, and now the barrier to destroy one and have the rest chain is much lower than having one giant one that can't really chain with other storages.
Well, the reason that you would want that is presumably because you can assign storages to be closer, which ultimately improves reload times a little bit if your ship is spending any amount of time outside of combat.
Oh
But
yeah, to move everything up.
yeah, but the issue is that if it does spend time, or if it's constantly in combat, then that never matters. So it's just a specific tuning, I suppose.
There's a
Or
nuke ship getting harassed down by Bravo that might lose its just sitting there. Oh, never mind, it's moving.
has a ship assigned to be behind it to protect it, it seems.
Ship's not doing all that much. It's got no guns on it, so oh, it once Delta goes, it's over. I hope Yellow recognizes that.
Too
Is
late, it
that
would seem.
yeah, that's
And there
game.
we go. Very nice.
There's still even a lot of ships on the board, but in this turn-based game, but that was a good game. That was one of our faster matches.
That was exceedingly one of the faster matches.
Now we're just on to Tapeable and Bio versus Percy Jim and Tony before it finished up to get into our what are they called? Semifinals? Quarterfinals? I don't know.
Semi-finals for today.
I guess not even quarterfinals because the winners bracket would get two chances.
Yeah, it's just for today.
We already got Percy Jim in, a veteran at joining quickly, and everyone's here, just a little rearranging left.
Mhm. Here we go.
I'm glad you're not having internet issues right now. That's convenient.
Yes. Very nice.
In fact, I'm the only one to have, between us, to have disconnected. I fell out of a game earlier, or the lobby.
Yeah, that wasn't even like a particularly big issue since it was near the tail end of a match anyhow.
That was just in the lobby. I've been here for all the matches.
Ah,
Anyway,
yeah.
who do we have? Tony and Percy Jim coming in with. Tony's got a bunch of fast deck rammers. I guess so does Percy Jim. Versus some heavier, uh, also deck cannon. So
Yeah, so this is the first time we've seen um Tony and Crazy Jim in the tournament. So we don't actually know what's up with their ships thus far yet.
looks
But
like
they're
one of Tony's is already dead. One more shot, and there we go.
yep. Just sometimes the numbers game is just unfair.
Like Bravo's getting captured. But see, 2x DC, 3x C. Quite the name to say. It's got flanked or something. It's lost in its control room. Seems like Team 2 is
I
doing well
think
in the middle, but they're losing Echo. Not
I th
anymore, but they probably will soon.
I think predominantly Team 1 is defined by having really high speed but lower efficiency, whereas Team 2 is very similar tactics but is more focused on efficiency based on their ships.
Percy Jim rammed one of his ships into an asteroid and seems to have lost it. He could do have it automatically strafe out of there by using Z.
Yeah, there's an argument of how much time it takes to fix though, and if that's worth it, or if you're like actively losing cost due to not paying attention. Oof! Teleports away a moment too late. As you can see, another corpse manages to make its way home.
That would have been such a good ship to save.
Yeah, that could spell a big difference.
I feel like that ship was like the real game changer to have
Yeah,
running around.
it was doing a lot of work. It killed like 2 Raves by itself.
Yeah, Percy Jim just lost that one ship, but now there's what Alpha just about to get one more shot in that control room, and then yeah, there starts. Well, I guess now there's another deck cannon ship on Alpha, so never mind.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's pretty rather easy to kill that with just being behind it though. Because like it can't
Capable,
really compete with the thrust output of other ships.
capable with another of these Huns.
Or because, since it has very limited energy, you can just ram it out of the way and then it can't get back. Another Un-3 from Tapeable though seems to be trying to equalize the competition.
Graves always seem to be shot right down the middle.
It could be that they have a armor structure composition. No, it's all armor. Never mind.
There's some one small hole, but that's not significant.
Yeah. I've seen some ships that use corridor in place of armor to either pad the out explosions or to give the impression that a surface is harder than it looks, but unfortunately it's not the case here.
Seems like that Rave ship actually beat off a deck cannon ship on Alpha.
Yeah,
Took out a control room. I
well,
think the thing with the Rave ships is they got a big focus on center armor.
yeah,
Then you
the
can hit the side to get to a deck cannon easier.
ability to use speed to push the opponent from a certain angle to make it so that they can't fire at the right place is very important. It basically made it so that the damage was completely unconcentrated for the deck cannon ship that was firing back at the Rave. The small ship that remains, of course, doesn't meet the minimum cost, so no longer counts towards the price.
It is slowly pecking at Raves, at least attempting to peck at Raves thrusters. It's gonna run out of ammo so soon that it won't really matter.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really problematic to hold Echo too. Alpha's about to be captured before the ship can get there. And it doesn't make
Ooh,
it. Very,
just in
very
time.
close.
I know there's two Raves on there. That's
Yeah, it's not gonna survive for long.
and if they can. Oh, and the Un has died.
And another one's coming, and they still don't get Alpha. But they will get Echo.
And if they get Alpha, that's the end of it. Now they've got to do that fast because there's three ships fighting for Alpha. Oh, this is unless Un can manage to. Yep. Now that Echoes, he has to go to Alpha in order to prevent this. Unless Capable goes to Alpha, he's not going to be able to take Echo before Alpha falls. So that they got to do something fast. Looks like
I don't think we're gonna get there.
oh, that's one really fast ship. It might, unless it gets rammed out. Yeah, that's ooh. There we go.
Again.
Just in time, saving the game. Oh, but
Oh.
it's about to lose that control room. Yeah. What is Echo contested? Oh yeah, that's why. As long as Echo stays contested,
It's about to not be the case anymore.
yeah, if he steps out for a second, it's it. Oh, that was very close. They ram him out. That's all they need.
Or just kill him from behind.
Yeah. I seen. Oh, he's trying to teleport away. That's not a good move in the game.
This one of the moves that you can do.
That's just. Yep. That's it. Right. Yeah. I don't think he realized that the points were all gone. It wasn't going to change much anyway, but that's one of the ways to go. All right. Now we're into the semis. What was it? Hansel versus News and versus Newsmiss and Catch.
Well, I guess so, because Crazy Jim and Tony both decided to leave despite me saying otherwise.
Oh, well, we got these people back. So now we've got we can get them back maybe.
There we go. Uh, as you can see, we are in the semifinals. So there's 3 matches left, including this one. So just leave that there for the time being.
Let's hope the lag isn't too bad.
I can't imagine it being that bad when you're mostly giving RTS commands.
Just need to fly Kawa and Southwest to China so everyone can be in the same place.
Well, that's pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's why high-end tournaments are offline or otherwise local, is so that this doesn't ever play a part.
Which tournaments?
Like official high-end esports ones are offline.
Yeah. All playing tournaments.
Dedicated EMP ship. Crazy Gem and Tony are well aware of the tactics. Or no, that's from Sad Fox. Interesting. Preemptively countering the battery ships that are the Maybachs and Tomahawks.
The EMP ship has an interesting structure. I love
Let's
how it
hope
has
it.
the lights in the corners like an airplane would.
It
Or
does
it's
look
got
pretty.
like its uh thruster armor is like a mix of corridor. Definitely a pretty looking ship.
Yes, I like all of how the ships look. Alpha already being hotly contested. Sevastopol will be struggling to find value currently because all of its targets are near the bottom of the map. But once it starts getting value, it's going to be killing very efficiently.
It needs to find reactorless ships, which there are a few of them out here. The Tomahawk, the Maybach.
Like near the bottom. There you go.
Not as much lag this time. That's good.
Oof. That Tomahawk is going to be dead indefinitely because it was hit by an EMP once. It's a very bold move sending a battery ship against an EMP missile ship. But I guess if it starts just destroying the ship, then it's not a problem.
Almost destroying it from the inside. That reactor is at half health. Just one good hit and it's over. Oh, let's see if we. Yeah,
There we
barely didn't
go.
make it in time to repair.
Unfortunate, but it spawns downrange of another EMP ship, so another dead ship.
And that ship doesn't have any ammo left. It killed the EMP ship with its last shot of ammo. The other Maybach in that corner also is out. It seems like Percy, Jim, and Junior really sweeping around here.
Yeah,
Because now it's just Bravo left.
they invested a lot
I
of
don't.
money into the EMP ship and it didn't do really anything.
Yeah, I think the first issue is all the raves are just kind of immune to EMP.
Yeah, they don't care at all. And the thing is, like, if you spend money on a ship, then it needs to be getting value. Otherwise, you're at a huge disadvantage. Nice dodge.
Maybach taking ooh, substantial EMP damage.
Delta neutralized and being captured. I don't think that those familiars are gonna get there in time.
Yeah,
Nope.
that looks like it's unless something manages to stick itself onto Bravo to hold. Yeah, that's over.
That's it.
That was rather fast. I think every match, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yugi and Sad Fox. I keep saying Yu-Gi-Oh. Yugi and Sad Fox have been fast matches. Either way it went,
Yeah.
but now they're in the losers bracket. Maybe they'll run
And
into what Kawa and Self is again.
And Kacha. Well done, guys. You joined and record pace. I'm very impressed.
The winners of this matchup go against Percy Jim and Tony, right?
Pardon? Yes. The winner of this match goes against Prezi Gem and Tony in the finals of today. And then today is it.
Seems like Kolas spamming a number. I don't know what the number's for. Could that be? His net worth, I think, in Zimbabwe dollars.
Just waiting on Hansel Cat now.
Is Hansel's cat and Space Cat, do they have anything to do with each other?
I don't think so. I don't like remotely anything to do with each other. My understanding.
Uh, and left. A and D. How should
Disconnected, not left.
that's a wonderful sign.
I certainly hope not.
I feel like this has gone a little faster than our most elimination tournaments.
Yeah.
It's
And
also a little smaller. It's what, 13 teams versus,
well, 26 players is still a decent amount.
yeah, but because we have 4 people at once, it's
Yeah. Instead of just two. So the swarm tactics return as previously seen, compared to the heavier, much heavier ships of the left yellow team that has two EMP ships. Properly
I
paying
believe
attention.
they must, yeah, I believe they paid good attention. One of those will end any of these small swarm ships.
So I think that Team Red, Crimson, whatever, will have to readjust their tactics. Because the EMPs
That thing
are
is dead.
already brutal. It's killed two ships. And is on its way to kill more.
Issues as EMPs. Oh wait, they don't have much ammo, but they could just refill. That easy.
Yeah, you can just go home and refill, and it's not an issue. But as you can see, Alpha very easily taken. Delta was neutralized, but is being very quickly recaptured.
Seems like an EMP ship's about to meet its end.
Has no more energy to refill the control room, so it already did meet its end.
Echo just got lost. Oh, one ship getting behind, but the ship teleported away. On Alpha, there was a potential for some serious damage happen.
Yes, well done teleporting away properly. Trying to set it up preemptively is important. There is tech for setting it up to teleport instantly, but that doesn't ever seem to be used for one reason or another. Oh, those are painful nukes. No FTL to jump away this time.
So the rear reactor is very exposed.
And it's currently rotating to face... Oh no. Okay, barely survives that. Team Crimson seems to be making their way back into it. The EMP ships were not restored, and they couldn't continue being effective. So we're back to
Yeah,
the numbers game that Team Crimson wins very easily of just constant, overwhelming firepower.
using nukes on a small ship is a rare choice, but they actually managed to hit on Bravo.
Oh, if they do hit, they completely obliterate whatever they do hit. There's nothing left to speak of after the fact.
Although the important use of headlights by Hansel Cat on his nuke ship.
Yes, I appreciate the inherent flex that is using headlights, completely useless parts that cost a lot.
Alpha about to be taken. Yep, there we go.
I love how it's going back and forth, like, all of the top four were captured by Crimson, but then they just swept with the Fortress and Chimeras.
Right now it's balanced in income.
Pretty balanced overall. Fleet value is a little bit in favor of Team 1 because they're using heavier ships that seem to be more survivable, but past that, it seems very even. A nice thing about the Chimera is that because it only has one deck cannon, it is very good at not blocking its allies' fire.
Oh, that one ship from a news miss got away right as something was about to hit its reactor.
Yeah, it was
Completely repairing.
almost a bad time. Beacon ship is very mobile, very moving fast.
That
It
fortress
is,
does take some serious damage though.
it's been like fired at by 3 different ships for a while now. Still fine, of course.
Expect to see it head home at some point soon.
Oof. Nukes.
Oh, that nuke ship just on the Charlie completely missed its barrage.
Unfortunate.
Fired him into its own team.
Yeah, nukes are very difficult to hit small targets with, especially fast moving ones. Like even slight movement of a small target can completely dodge nukes.
See if Fortress ever gets back to repair because it's starting to look like it's time to do
Start
that.
looking a little bit worse for wear. Like a
It's got
solid
nothing left on that armor.
solid 2 layers of outermost armor just all gone.
Oh, Fortress just took a hit that took out its control room and it's yeah, that's dead.
Unfortunate. Served for an excellent amount of time.
Just one hit, I guess, perfectly managed to take him out.
Fortress and Chimera both fall at the main at Charlie Point. Well, they thought that Chimera fell. Still had a few shots left.
It's a burning control room. About to end it.
However, more of these heavier ships have spawned, and they're probably going to be killing a lot more small ships.
There's another Fortress out.
As well as 3 Chimera on the field.
One of the fortresses is getting attacked from behind and nobody's noticed. Oh, it teleported away, but it's not gonna be the best because it lost half its engines.
Well, it can serve as a pretty good stationary point to defend Alpha. Like it's as previously demonstrated to Charlie, it's going to take a pretty long time before it actually breaks. Oof, good nuke shots.
Oh my. That ship's still alive and can return though.
Yeah, it's not dead though. Better start warping home.
100% capable to run back. Those shots hitting them. Who's firing? Yeah, those shots landed and that could go badly.
No control room. Can't teleport back anymore. Okay, so I think the fortress might start having issues if it's being shot at by all sides.
So there's one thing targeting that control. Yep, control room's dead. It's got a vulnerable control room right at the back.
Exactly. Very emblematic of the difference in strategies here, where it's like 6 ships against 1.
It's like, but spare that internal armor to rearrange the control room guy. Is that control room's been the weakness every time. Is the ship's just been like the whole entire ship's there, but the control room's not. Especially with a swarm surrounding you.
Let's see. So Bravo, Delta, and Elko have been held for a very long time by Team 1, Yellow. But Charlie and Alpha have been held by Team Crimson for the entire time, so I'm pretty sure that's still equal grounds for the both of them. Hansel sacrificing 2 ships to push a beacon out of the spawn zone for Team 1. Interesting. Another nuke drive-by, probably gonna be painful. Fortunately, not aimed properly, so it won't be any amount of damage, really.
When nukes hit Hansel Cat's nuke ship, that thing's just about done. But it can go back and completely repair.
Of course. Another EMP ship hits the field. The suppressor looks very nice. Oof. Narrowly dodges the nuke. And yeah, I'm surprised that they weren't making more use of the EMP ships. Like the last Domination tournament, they were draconic with how effective they were. Just like destroying things left and right because everything was storage based.
See, there is. Yeah, this
And they
game is staying pretty balanced.
have
But
so much
because
range too.
the three that yellow are holding cap beats two in 2 minutes, it's a yellow win.
I thought that the alpha counted for 2 unless it was like there's 6 points on the field, technically.
And then, oh yeah, I don't play domination much, so
I don't know either way either. So
I would not be surprised. It's in the middle and it's bigger, so
they're starting to really get a critical mass of the larger ships where it's like if you have enough of them, then you can't just flank because like behind one of them is just another one that's protecting it.
Delta's actually might might die. Seems like cancel cats is gonna take Delta. Oh, there's an EMP ship from A and D that just about disabled the
Oof.
beacon ship.
The nukes take out the nuke ship, very unimpressed with how CMPs were working.
Kept just using that beacon ship to send all those ships over.
To get really quick, rapid reinforcements.
There's
Hmm.
only a minute for yellow to capture 2 points. That's not looking like it's going to happen, especially with all that contest on Delta.
Yeah, like even if they had Delta, it's still an uphill battle, but they don't have Delta.
Especially because red team has an advantage holding points because of all the small ships that will find a way to sneak in.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it's
much game.
you kind of need to conquer your opponent like before it gets to this state, or before letting it get to the state at the end of the game. Oh, they lose another point.
But yeah, that's they could end up with a 4 Oh, Alpha's gone though.
Oh, they're gonna lose Bravo though, so it's a trade-off.
Bravo just gets captured barely.
Yeah, I think that's
Wouldn't have changed it
it.
though. Yeah, that's too late. Can't capture anything. Well, maybe if they. No, it's not going to be enough.
There's no way. There's no way. If there was a disconnect, I would still hand the win off to the relevant team.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wait a
oh,
second.
hey.
I was wrong.
If they capture that and they hold on to Delta,
Oh, they're gonna get Bravo. They're gonna get Bravo. They got
oh,
Bravo. Never
that
give up.
is that you see, you never
You never give
right
up.
at the end. Right at the end. That's impressive. Oh man, that's a clip right there. Just barely. So I guess they only need two and not a majority.
Hmm. So, Asmus and Ketchup versus Percy Gem and Tony.
They did not stay.
I told them to stay 3 times.
That's quite the win there.
It was very impressive. And this will be the last match for the today.
Unless we get a disconnect or two. And we've got everyone here. I assume Yugi is commentating for his audience as well.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. I I wouldn't know. I'd have to ask. Hang on them. Of course, of course. Last match, and they have to be busy with something.
I lost connection.
That was a dumb thing to do.
Would suck to just I have to bail out for the last game.
I'd be fine. I can cast by myself. Share the bracket one last time to show what it'll be like, and the last person wins or whatever. And that is the top of the winners bracket. So tomorrow we will be doing the double elimination losers bracket in the bottom half of the match, and then the finals. Very exciting. Very exciting. Mm, what are we waiting for? Yeah, we should complain more. Makes things happen.
I need to decide if I'm going to do a math minor at my
Hmm.
college. It's tempting.
Math. Why math? Math. Dreadful.
I have to take some advanced math class, at least one of them, like advanced calcul, and wonder what that would be. It's probably not an easy class by any means.
Certainly be one of them.
Yeah,
Ooh, very spread out map. All three different areas. Very distinct.
I
Very
love
similar
classic
tac
Tony raves.
very similar tactics for both teams where you have moderately large sized ships and a lot of smaller ships to follow them up with.
The raves
I
get to Alpha first.
well, I don't think that'll matter because it's just like they're both gonna be there for a long time and they're both gonna constantly be pouring ships into the fight. Yeah, they
Fortresses are very sturdy, but that exposed control room is probably not going to be very nice against all these smaller ships that I see circling it right above Alpha.
if you just kill one of your main problems, then it suddenly isn't a big issue.
Oh, yeah, that fortress
Are
is already dead.
unfortunate.
It just that's a real design flaw. Just got executed right there.
Yeah, it's you need a lot of armor to cover the thruster sections though.
Like that control room is like they call this side armor and back armor, but they use the control room as armor in a sense, and that's
That's not the right thing to be using as armor.
yeah, that's painful to see.
EMP is continuing to destroy some of the smaller ships since a small ship is just remaining out of range. EMPs have ludicrous range advantage over everything else. So it is very easy to see why one would just have it sitting there and providing fire support from outside the fog of war.
I feel like they just run back and refill every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Smart move, Tony Storage.
the Chimera is really struggling to actually deal damage. The nukes are very efficient, but the issue is that they take a longer time to deal damage than the deck cannons. So you need to have extended fights to actually get effectiveness from them. Against equal sized targets, that is.
But it seems like Team One is going to take Alpha. It doesn't seem like there's much of a way to contest that then with, what is it, 5 ships there? Even though some are just dead.
Oh, if it still has a control room and deck cannons, it's not dead, it's still a problem. I saw Chimera die to the bottom right wreck that only has thrusters, that has very little thrusters left. It seems as though Tony and Gem are doing very excellently here, already capturing 3 of the 5 zones and rapidly contesting Echo, or they
But
were
the
anyway.
EMP designs almost died, but the thing chasing it ran into an asteroid.
Of course.
Seems like they've got Echo back. Catcher coming in with a new ship I don't think I've seen recently. The shield and large deck cannon, not deck, just large cannons.
The IC-4 that just died.
See a lot of crew dying on Tony's nuke ship, but probably Well, I was gonna say it should probably uh, consider or repair, but it's dead now, so a little late for that.
Probably gonna remain there for the rest of the game, stuck against that asteroid. It's kind of amusing. They're barely holding back all the opposing forces at Echo, but the thing is, there's still a lot more ships at Alpha that are just gonna be held there. They're gonna be a problem later on if they ever want to push into it.
Need to take something. I mean, I guess they could go for Delta and whatever, but then you need to take something at some point. But one of those raves is slowly making its way back from Alpha to go repair. It's got one engine and having to reverse on the other side so they don't spin.
A good argument for a minimum budget FTL beacon back at home, really. Oof, the low speed of the fortress continues to hurt it. Against the raves that are pretty good at maintaining speed as opposed to it.
Oh, there's another Chimera about to die. Yep. If they just one more hit.
No, it's still alive. No, there it
Yep.
goes.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Two
they,
fortresses now on Echo.
they lost Bravo? Similar to how I was, they were laser focused on Echo instead of the battle at large. Oh, it would be rough to lose that Chimera there too.
Dude, this nuke's got to do something. And they will. They take out, no, barely didn't take out the control room. One of those fortresses is real overdue for a repair.
It's barely holding on. At least they continue to maintain their stranglehold on Echo.
Chimeras just barely died right there.
Still has the control room. Could probably make it home if it has a fire extinguisher.
Burning those, so I doubt they're gonna make it before that burns. If it burns anymore, the guy's gonna get kicked out of the pilot seat. I noticed a lack of fire extinguishers.
It has
I guess
one fire extinguisher, but there's no way to get to it from the control room. So yeah, it won't be making it home. That's a dead ship.
at least it helps hold the point a little bit longer while it burns.
Yes,
And
that
those
is very
nukes.
nice.
So it did do something. That's good.
A little bit overkill for 3 nukes on that one small ship. Warping home while Echo is under attack. I suppose the repair was important because it wasn't doing anything, but
Yeah, that ship
Echo's
is nothing.
being lost.
Nothing left on that ship. But they have to afford the repair first.
Oh no. And wait for it to like restock with all the energy and stuff. Echo neutralized.
Yeah, the one Chimera is now dead. Now there's only one ship on a that's getting ignored by Ketcha. That one ship on Bravo.
Yeah, it's not being given any attention either. Echo
So that's just
captured.
going to die. Tony putting us in slow motion.
Crazy Jim not paying attention manages to lose his ship to one that's not being paid any attention to by flying it in front of the cannons.
I feel like they
Oh,
actually were paying attention at the end because they targeted the weapons.
a little too late though.
But now that ship's dead.
Yeah, the raw efficiency of the raves and just like the well-designed nature makes it so like the chimeras and their oddity, but despite being effective, just like the nukes consistently missing hurts so much.
Oh, look at it. That one hit took out a rave.
When it works, but it so rarely works is the issue.
Yeah, there's one stuck in the water over here.
The rave that
Good.
was trying to fly back home actually made it and repaired. They have Bravo. That's
We're
it.
both, yeah, feeling this is the end, right? In a little bit.
They
Been
fought
no
for
contest for
every.
Alpha. Even though
It,
Alpha is actually, it doesn't really have any defense.
well, if you have to consider fog of war, because it looks like there's 4 ships that have just been sitting there and are just like at full health and scary. So it's like, why would you bother going to contest it when you're actively losing Bravo?
One of the ships on Alpha could actually fly back and make it, but looks like it's about to end anyway.
They
Nothing on Bravo.
they fought hard for every step, but still lost them all the same.
They're contesting Delta. That would hold off the end, right?
Maybe not if the
If
ship leaves.
yeah,
And
no,
the ship left.
never mind.
Good games.
That's the end of today.
That is the end of today. Tony and Percy Gem are the finalists for the winners bracket.
Well played.